maybe there's initials written in the sand on the beach. Perhaps the water is very flat and still. Perhaps it's very turbulent and we've got lots of waves that are coming through from the water. And if that's the case, then you will always, always know that the water will display the emotions that are going to come into your life as well. So if you've got turbulent waves ahead, then you're in for a few rocky moments. If it's nice and flat and calm and still, then yeah, we can all go sailing, and that would be rather wonderful, wouldn't it? So look for the signals that are surrounding you, as well as trying very, very hard to connect now to the person that you want to speak to in your spirit room. Remember as well, the following day, to follow up with perhaps repeating that visualization in your mind's eye just before you go to sleep. That's a really, really good way of connecting to spirit as well. So I'm now going to show you the crystal ball. This is always a very powerful tool to use. And the crystal, if you've got one, will also give you a very competent means of being able to heighten your psychic energy, heighten your expectations as well, from where you are going, from where you are sitting, and how you can really, I think, just expose exactly how you are proposing here to move your own spirit connections forward. So the crystal, let's look into the center of the crystal, and you can do this as well, and take it right up to the camera there. So if you look into the center of a crystal ball, you may see all sorts of things. You could see mountains or pyramids or forests, flat spaces, oceans, houses, people, symbols such as hearts or diamonds, or perhaps even numbers as well. And I'm looking here, and I do feel that there's a very strong initial of E here. So all of you out there with the initial of E, there is who are watching at the moment, there's some very good omens for you. And be very careful as well for next week when we've got big, big changes astrologically. They're going to affect all of us. But for now, I think there's one special person that would be very, very lucky with this initial. And I feel that this is going out to but somebody is going to be propaganda and very, very much into global world news, initially be. So watch out for that. And I feel that that's going to be over the next week. Sparkles are here. Sparkles are all around. So we are looking at how we can illuminate the future with using a crystal ball. And in order to use the crystal ball properly, you have really got to concentrate onto the center of the crystal. You need to look through the crystal ball rather than outside of it. Don't expect to see things. You sort of look right the way through, and then on the opposite side of the crystal sphere, you will have images appear, and you will look towards a future pathway. That's going to be something very special that you can do. And you will look at the sky, the sea, everything that's earthly that you can see in the crystal is a symbol of what is to come in your life. So this one is the quartz crystal with the citrine in it, and very powerful, and really gives a sense of healing as well, because you can see some aquamarine there, and you can also see guiding lights that are coming in. Now, I've talked a little bit about angels, so I'm just going to show you some angel cards as well that we use in readings. And it's nice to have a couple of oracle cards. This is one of them. This is the angel card, which brings in the qualities of, yes, some positivity. This is what you can do. This is what you can see. And we've also got this lovely image here of big happy changes, which again shows this lovely angel and a sense of dimension that we have around the angels too. So it's surprising what you can achieve with just a little bit of practice here, looking straight ahead into your crystal room. Maybe you'd want to make it a crystal room. That would be rather nice. I'm just going to, here we go. Just going to get my other crystal ball. I've got lots of them here. But it's really rather nice to show you, some of the different crystals that operate and some of the crystals that are really working for you. I'll just get this one moving. Now, I also want to show you as well. There we are. That's the lovely amethyst crystal. That's beautiful lilac shade. And the lilac and the wonderful amethyst is abundant in healing properties and brings in a sense of protection as well, which is all around us. And the protection that we need to feel is really important as we're going through. We don't want to be, really given a hard time psychically or, really get those thunderous sort of feelings of anxiety and stress. So this is a great way of just meditating for a few minutes on a piece of amethyst. And if you've got any amethyst tumble stones, then carry them with you as well, because they're really, really good in a pocket, sort of maybe on a shirt or a blouse, somewhere close to your heart is what the method is to use amethyst properly. But this will bring in harmony and also a sense of balance. And sometimes we need that, don't we? We're working hard, we've got a home to run, and we're worried about all sorts of different things. Well, this brings in harmony and fun and laughter and bringing in some surprises. And the sun is shining, and we're going to be feeling great about ourselves. So, the amethyst crystal, a very, very powerful crystal indeed, one that is very worthwhile to have and to hold closely to you. Now, for those of you who follow me, and a lot of you do, and thank you for that, you can also follow me on Ellen Evenings, which is my Instagram handle, and also my Facebook page, which if you're in the UK and Northern Ireland, you will see all of the events that I will be attending, all the events that I organise here in the UK, our psychic nights and our holistic events. And one of the services that I've extended out to the US by popular demand, I will say, is my email reading, psychic email reading, which you will be able to order online. It's at gracedestiny.com/psychic readings / So just go to the website. You'll see it on the psychic store. You'll see it also in the psychic readings. Now, in my email reading, they're done by me or by one of my handpicked team. I've got a team of professionals that work with me here in London. And what we are doing is showing you the cards that we've used and the crystal that we've used as well during your reading. We're answering 2 questions very in depth and sending those to you within 48 hours, excluding weekends and bank holidays for you to keep. So you can look at those predictions from this month and say, well, okay, let's see what's going to happen in the next few months or the next year even. And I've specially set up a page so that you can pay in dollars as well from the US. It's $25 for an in-depth 2-question psychic email reading, hand delivered by me. I will do a lot of the readings. I really love them. I like to select the cards for you, select the crystal ball for you, and show you, exactly what you need to do. So they're very detailed, and also give you that sort of sparkle of inspiration, for you to be able to maybe jump forward to the next stage in your life. Maybe you'd want to have a full in-depth Skype reading. You can do that with me as well. Or perhaps look at some of the other services on my website. Whichever way you want to go, it's really important now to expand your own psychic senses and start to use them. Use that intuitive power that you have. Maybe try a visualization. Look for my article in Soul and Spirit magazine. It's on sale now in the UK. But you as well. You can read all about how to get to your spirit room. There are specific instructions in there, so that's really quite nice to do. And I hope that you'll come back and join me again here next week, where we'll have some live readings as well as new content, and we can talk about some new different aspects now that are coming up for Mother's Day. So we have got to think about our mums and how great they are and how we might miss them or really appreciate them. And perhaps it is your mum that you want to make contact with. Maybe she's passed over, or a grandmother. And perhaps by creating your own spirit room, you can start to practice to invite her there. And then she can come and meet you in your dreams, maybe whisper a few words. Or if that's proving a little testing, then try a medium. You can get through to myself or one of the other great mediums on A1R radio, psychic radio, Moonstruck TV. And we're here so that you can feel as though you've got the rightful place in the world, in your life, and so that you can benefit and thrive. That's what we want you to do. So thank you for joining me today, and it's been wonderful to share with you some of the secrets about how to connect to psychic mediums and how to connect to your own psychic room. Your spirit room awaits you. So I've been Eleanor Grace, and it's been great to share with you some of those tips and tricks about psychic destiny. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome. Time for Susanna Medium with Susanna Hershaw. Live from SusannaMedium.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Susanna Media on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
So my lovely friends, thanks very much for joining me. We are live here on the Ask One Radio Network, A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. I am your show host for this one particular segment of shows here. And I am Susanna Medium. And then lo and behold, this show is called Susanna Medium. If this is the first time you are joining me. And I tell you what, I was counting, this is episode 88, the beautiful, beautiful angelic energy. And then today is a leap. Not today is a leap year, but then we are leaping, most certainly leaping into a new year, if we are counting that way. But anyway, it's the end of February, and every 4 years we are experiencing these wonderful days. So, oh my goodness, everything is coming together today. So here we go. I hope you are all very well. And I tell you, today I'm going to talk to you about something which is very, very close to my heart. But before I start, I just like to send love and blessings to all of you, all of us, even with my voice. Yes, you are experiencing challenging times wherever you are or wherever you are really on the earth, whether it is too hot, too cold, or you need the rain, or you are running low on rain, or lots of waters are appearing, or various things happening, or the wind is happening, wind is doing various things. But so from this place, I'm sending love and blessings, and knowing that well, you know, when we are talking from spiritual realms, that we need to know that spiritual energy is always around us. So it's prayer, and trust that the energies are going to shifting and changing. So here we go. As I started talking to you about what is really important to me, and very, very close to my heart. And just one more thing, because I'd like to talk about one aspect of mediumship here today, which is very close to my heart. So just a little nudge ahead if you are experiencing really challenging times. Maybe you lost somebody, or maybe somebody is very, very close to you, but then closing to that moment, getting close to the moment of departing and finding their next journey. So just mindfully listen to this conversation. I'm talking about where is everybody? Where are those people who have passed over? And then how we can experience their energies, or what is happening with that energy. So I tell you what, a little story. I like my little stories. I really need to go back to quite a few years here. I remember I'm not even 21, and my mother dies on one afternoon, one evening. And I remember after that point, I wasn't really feeling or thinking about God, most certainly surrounded by some Catholic peoples in our family, and knowing certain traditions. And after that point, what I'm saying is because after that point, I was really questioning God. I was really thinking or asking, I was really pondering about that. Where is God, or what is God? If that can happen to somebody, if God is taking away somebody I really love, my own mother, where is God? That's not a God who's doing this. So I was really thinking and feeling that way. And then, you know, I remember that time I was a student training to be a teacher. beginning of the 1990s, and big permed hair, and really going with the energy and feeling the music and everything what I was studying. And then suddenly this happened and really took a sharp corner, sharp edge to my life for a whole year, actually. But anyway, while I'm saying this, because the question arose, where is everybody, and what is happening, and where is that God, or what is a God, or God is taking people away, and so where is everybody after that, or is so all these various questions. And then while I'm saying this, because you might be going through this type of conversation right now, asking a lot of questions. But I tell you what, going forward again, many years, I'm sitting in this hall at the College of Psychic Studies in London, where I'm witnessing and watching a medium working. And I remember during that time, during a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, I tried to watch as many mediums working, because I was curious how they are working. And at the same time, while I was sitting in the audience, and also spiritualist churches here in the UK, I was receiving messages. And I remember, when we are going through very difficult times, very tough times, and then we are feeling that, we don't have anybody around us, friends or families, who would really understand us, or they could give us the support what we need. And we are really continuing asking the questions, searching, and because we want to have that moment of peace and love. And even if it lasts for a couple of minutes or a couple of hours, a couple of days, that we are really looking forward to that moment, that actually it is there, that reassurance, that love is there. And I remember during those times, during those few years, 2 years, 3 years, when I was really watching as many mediums working in circles, on platform, all various places, that I kept getting the message that from my parents in spirit consciousness, from my mother who passed when I wasn't even 21, and also my father who passed a few years later. But here we go. I've got quite a lot of messages, and it really made me think that, yes, when we are experiencing big challenging situations, challenges in our lives, they are so very close. They are always very close. But then when we are really in that tough space, a very difficult, challenging space, they are really even closer. So if you are, like me, able to work with the energies, I am blessed, because now it's very natural to have conversation with them, because I recognize their energy, so I know who is who and what is what and what they are saying. So it is very playful, it is very direct, it is very natural in my household. But at that time it was not. And then you might experience that, actually, yes, I wish I had that ability, but I'm still in that difficult situation, what I am experiencing, so what can I do? And then you might have the option of talking to a medium, getting somebody who is working with your loved ones and their energies, so that you get those reassuring conversations. So that is an opportunity for you. But then what I'm really saying here is that when we are going through difficult times, our loved ones are most certainly very close to us. And you might feel that, yes, I don't have the mediumistic ability, but you are still in a position to work with their energies and welcome them and invite them and remember their energies and bringing them, asking them to come closer. Because even if you are not getting the direct conversation how I will get, or any other medium, spiritual medium, evidential medium, or trance medium, but you still have the ability to remember. So what you can do, you can get a photo of them. You can have an object what belonged to them close by. You can have that moment when you sit down and you start talking to them. You don't have to close your eyes. You just sit and then you talk to them. And from your heart, you tell them your sorrow. You tell them what is happening with you. You tell them that you are asking for guidance. You tell them that you need love. You tell them that you are in a difficult situation. And then you are asking them for guidance and reassurance. And then you might feel that as you sit in that very quiet space within your own circle, you create your own circle, because that is what you are able to do, even if you are sensing it or not, but then you are creating your own circle of love between you and then the ones who passed over, or between you and another family member and then one who passed over. You can create your own circle, because that is there, whether you feel it, sense it or not. But then really finding those moments, because even if you are not receiving a direct message in that sense, so but then you see there are so many things here to consider, but then that love and that energy is very much around, because what could happen quite easily, that in your dream you are having a sensation and you are getting an answer, you are getting some clarity. Maybe in the morning you wake up and you really felt that love from that person who passed over, because they showed their energy, their frequency. They hugged you, they held you in the space, what you needed to experience. And maybe you are waking up and you are feeling that love. You feel it in your heart, and then you know it. How do you know it? Because you know that it's not the love of the person who is maybe next to you, like a real person, living person, but then when we remember, we got a sensation of how that person made us feel, that sensation, which we forget because it's there when we are sensing it, and then it's gone next moment. And let alone when we have a few years after somebody's passing and we are feeling their energy. But what is really important, that there is that sensation, there is that moment when we are able to feel their energies, and then we know it belongs to them, because they don't belong, that sensation does not belong to anybody else. So my invitation to you is really, when you are experiencing big situations in your life, and then suddenly you don't know what to do with that, and maybe you don't have a medium to book, or you don't have or find a spiritualist church or a meeting or a circle or something like that, you may sit quietly, have a photo of the person, start talking to them, not just in your mind thinking, but talking to them from your heart, because it's a frequency. You are raising the frequency. You are alive in the very moment, and when we are alive in the very moment, that is when they are with us all the time. And I can assure you, they are all of us. All of them are all of us, very much around us and helping us and guiding us. So a lot to talk about, but what I really wanted to talk about today is the love is always there. The love never goes anywhere. The love never dies. And it is us who, opening our heart center, bringing ourselves forward from that space, speaking from that space, being from that space, and sending out prayers, sending out gratitude. And this is how we can get closer to that realm. So beautiful, beautiful energies. So sit with that circle within yourself. And I'll tell you what, sending you lots of love, and see you next time. Thanks. Bye.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for Susanna Medium with Susanna Hershaw. Live from SusannaMedium.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Susanna Medium on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
My wonderful, thank you. Lovely friends. I tell you what, this has been quite a windy afternoon here where I am right now, and I'm talking to you live from this beautiful lake. So I'm just going to show you where I am. Here we go. I was there. Beautiful. I was there an hour ago taking a little walk around. What I normally do before I come to you here on the A1R Radio Network, A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV, And then that is a place where I gather some inspiration, where God is talking to me, where I'm breathing, where I'm taking walks, and so on and so on. And it was just so very beautiful. So I decided to bring it here for you to share it. And I was just in such a mini hurry that even my microphone was not set up. So I'm just talking to you like this, whether you can see my microphone or not. It's a little bit different show, but here we go. So we are here. I'm starting my show. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon, lovely friends. Thanks very much for tuning in. I am live with you. I'm pinching myself. I'm here live with you on the Astro Radio Network, A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV, one of the shows we are improvising, the shows we are creating live here for you. And then if this is the very first time you are joining me, I'm your show host, Susanna Medium. And then I love everything spiritual, everything psychic and mediumistic world and conversation. And in this show today, I'm going to talk to you about something very, very special. And then you see, just one moment, I'm going to show you the other side. There were some ducks over there. If you can see a little bit later, they were just gliding through the picture as well. So it's very, very beautiful. So here we go. So, it's interesting because I was thinking, let's talk about March, what is happening in March 2023, but then something else reminded me of talking about something else. So, as I said, God is talking to us, and whether we are here in living form or in a spirit consciousness, we are still alive, just as alive as we are right now here. So I tell you what, a few days ago, I had a friend staying here, and you see the house, my home where I live is beautifully tuned in. It's quite an eclectic space. It's an old home. It's an eclectic space. We are tuning the spaces and the rooms all the time, and with a singing bowl or just me chanting, that really does the job, does the trick here. But then what was really, really interesting, last time I talked to you a little bit about mediumship and how much our loved ones are around us. And then this is what happened. I was upstairs and he came downstairs a little bit later, and a little bit later, he was saying that, you know what, when I was coming through this room, the very room where I'm sitting right now, I was present to, in that armchair over there opposite me, I was present to a man sitting, an energy sitting. Of course, there is nobody else here in the house. It was just us here. And he was saying, oh, there's a man's energy. And he was a little bit pulled back because he felt that he needed to behave in certain ways and just listen to what this man was saying. And then you need to know that this friend is not really a medium and not really working on that level, although he's doing some healing, but then his conversation is different. So I was quite bewildered. I was really, really enthused by his story. And then he was saying to me that, that man who was sitting there, he was just really here protecting the space and looking after the space, and then just watching who is entering this house and what is happening here. So I tell you what, I was really, really touched by his conversation, because I said to him, look over there, there's a photo just above the armchair, a small photo. Was it that man? Just look at, there's an old photo over there. And then he said, oh yes, my goodness me, that was the man. This is how I saw the man and even the energy. And I need to tell you, that was my paternal grandfather. Not many people know that their energy is even on that level. They are in the house and they are protecting me and protecting my home here. So I was really, really beautifully touched by the whole energy, the whole conversation, because who would have thought, how would this friend have known that there is that energy there? And then after that, of course, told him the story that, yes, those people, my paternal grandparents, they lived in a village, in a small village. In fact, they lived at the end of the village and in this old house, and even older house than my house. And they had the open fire. And, I don't know what they had, but then they kept animals. It was just very, very beautiful. It was so very rural. And for us visiting them as children of the town, sometimes we needed to see the cows. So we remembered what the whole world is about. But then what was really fascinating, what is really fascinating, and I bet they are over there sitting, because they are sitting here, because that is a fireplace. I'm able to use that log burner over there, and then they are watching the fire. They are watching the fire of the place, the fire. Just think about what fire represents in the home, even traditionally, and even not even traditional, but what does it really represent for us? So I was just so very beautifully touched by the whole experience, because somebody else had an encounter with that energy, and then they were receiving messages. So it was very, very beautiful. But you see, it made me think then, following a couple of days later, I was sitting there over there. I'm not going to take you around in this room, but I was sitting over there. And, I love sitting on the other side of the room because my eyes are sitting over there on the bookshelf. And then if you watched my earlier shows here on the A1R Radio Network a good 2 years ago, you remember when I was sitting in the corner with lots of books behind me. Now that is a corner over there I'm talking about. So what I'm doing when I'm sitting over there, I'm just looking over there, and I'm just really calmly breathing. You can try actually the same. Maybe that's why we are talking about this. But then you can do the same. You just cast your eyes on the books, and then not necessarily you are looking for a book or a picture or anything, but then just notice where your eyes are going. Maybe a picture you notice, maybe a name, maybe an author, maybe a title or anything what you notice. And then that is an opening to a conversation, what you might need to listen to. And then that was actually, once again, it happened, because it usually happens when I'm in this room, because I'm talking to the ones who are looking after the fire, and I'm talking to the rest of the family. In fact, there were about 38. They told me about 38 of them were here in the house on that night, just really keeping each other in company, and telling and looking after each other, looking after me here. But then what was really interesting, because I started having a conversation with them, and I asked various questions, so I got a lot of conversations. And how I know it's really interesting, because I tend to record everything. So even a few minutes ago before the show, I dipped into that conversation, what we are recording. And I asked them, so how can I help people? How can I help people? And then they said to me, and then it's not just to me, but then to you as well, lovely listeners, that we tend to help the ones who have similar life stories or life experiences to us. And then our attention is very much on the other person. And we are giving. And maybe after 3, 5, 10, 15 times giving energy, giving whatever we give to each other, then we pause and we reflect on ourselves and on our lives. And then they told me that you need to keep things in balance, because it's not just giving, but then receiving it. And don't be ashamed and don't be guilty once you say that, now there is a giving energy. Now let's see how the energy is moving back. Not necessarily you want to receive something, but then that is just a reminder that when we give, we receive. When we give, when we receive. And then they gave me this long conversation, but I kept thinking, okay, so how can I help people? And they said, you need to give space to yourself, and then ask one question and help the other person, but then let the energy coming back to you. Because why? Because you tend to help people, and that's your story as well, my lovely listener, that we tend to help the person who is in a similar situation. Because once we are asking the question, how can I help you? We are helping another person, but it means that we are helping ourselves at the same time. And just notice, because that is where it gets really interesting. Because when we are helping another person, we are helping ourselves. And it feels good to us to be able to help the other person, because in the situation, we forget about ourselves, because our story, our focus is on the other person. But in fact, we are helping ourselves as oneself, as I am, yourself. So I kept asking my father, okay, but how can I have it? Tell me more, give me more information here. And then what he was saying, that even the moment when you are asking the question, how can I help you? You need to know that it is not you as a person asking the question, but in fact, it is God who is asking the question through you. You are never the person who is asking the question. Your only job is just to being there for the other person, giving an eye contact, looking, giving energy to the person, just like how I'm looking at you, my lovely ones over there. And then just opening your mouth, and you do not need to, not even thinking what you are going to say, because you are thinking, how can you help? But then your job is to open your mouth, because God, Spirit, consciousness, Spirit wants to talk through you. And then after that, everything is being taken care of. Nothing what you say, nothing what you think, nothing what you say, even just the first sound what you utter without even a word, shaping a word or a sentence, is not coming from you, because it is coming from God, whether you expect it or whether you believe it or not, whether you take it or not, but it is coming from God consciousness. And I really sat here, and then I really reflected on this, at how very beautiful it is, because when I'm saying something, it's not coming from me. It's not coming from me, because I am just like anybody else, a human who is really with a mind thinking. So not much would be coming out of the thinking, the pile of thinking non-stop. But then when we pause, we bring the energy back to ourselves. We take a breath, we give the love energy, the compassion to the other person, open your mouth, and the words are coming from your heart space. And it's never yours, but it is coming from Spirit and God consciousness. So I needed to tell you this story. Reflect on this, let me know what resonated. You send me an email, you can find all the information around me. And then I tell you what, I'm sending you lots of love and many, many blessings, and enjoy the view. See you next week. Bye.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome. Time for the Psychic Side with John Capello. John Capello. Live from JohnCapello.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is the Psychic Side on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, welcome to the Psychic Side here on the A1R Psychic Radio Network at Moonstruck TV. I'm your host, John Capello. I'm a psychic medium from the Texas area, and I've been doing this work a little over 30 years. And I was voted #1 male psychic in the United States, so that's pretty good. I have been focusing on developing your own psychic abilities on our program. And last month we focused on clairsentience, and we talked a little bit about the 12 different nuances of 12 sentience. And this month we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to talk about clairvoyance, and we're going to get into that with each of the programs. But I wanted to take a moment to tell you one of the reasons why I talk a little bit about the nuances of each of these psychic abilities. And we're going to talk about the 12 nuances of clairvoyance later on, and maybe next week. But the reason why I'm talking about these different nuances is because when you're developing your psychic abilities, you may be able to focus on one of those nuances, but not the other ones. And it's important to go ahead and develop that nuance, develop those things that you're good at, because other people are good at other things. And some people feel like it's kind of a competition, and it's not a competition. It's just about developing each of these nuances like a muscle. And it's important as you work with the gifts that you have. And just because someone else is really good at something, or one of the particular nuances of one of the psychic abilities, it doesn't mean that you're not good at other things. Like, for instance, this month we're going to talk, like I say, about clairvoyance. Well, part of clairvoyance is dreams, and we'll talk more about dreams as well. But some people get some very prophetic dreams, and they're visual, very visual images or stories, if you want to call them, almost like an Instagram story, I guess. But it doesn't. If you don't get those vivid dreams, It doesn't mean you don't have clairvoyance. It means that you might have another nuance of that particular skill. And the same way with clairsentience. Clairsentience, we talked a little bit about how you have physical sensations and stuff like that, and gut feelings and hunches and just different areas of clairsentience. And you may be good at one, but not some of the other ones. And if you're not, it just means that those are areas for you to develop. So I have a book out called Soul Exercises for the Open Mind. It's available on Amazon or Balboa Books. Balboa is the original publisher of this particular book. And it goes through some of those nuances. I'm probably going to have to update that book one of these days. But this month also, I am going to be having a full day of workshops developing psychic abilities in the Plano, Texas area. And it is going to go through each of the psychic senses. And I'm going to go ahead and give a certification for that, because I hope to get into mediumship later on in the year. And the reason why I am going to do the certification is because I don't want people to get into the mediumship class who are not certified. And the reason why I want them to be certified with the lingo I use and the things that I do, the tools that I want to install, is because this way we're all on the same page. And it doesn't mean you can't learn from other people, and you should. Yeah, I'm not the definitive word on anything, but it makes it a little bit more difficult if we're not speaking the same language, or we're not on the same page with the ideas that I have been I have found to be true. So these are things that I want to impart, and we only have about 15 minutes on our program, and I'd like to thank you for joining me for my 15 minutes of weekly fame. But we are going to talk, like I say, about clairvoyance. And when you have clairvoyance, a lot of people say, well, how do you know you have clairvoyance? Well, for me, all it is kind of looking up. Just look up. Look up into your third eye. And your third eye is that window of the universe. And for me, it's almost like always having a double vision whenever I'm out and about. I have to pay attention and I have to focus. But when I do, I can see things around people that sometimes they don't want me to see. But it's a very powerful gift. Now, just because I said that doesn't mean that it's a single sight, because a lot of times when I see people, I see like television sets around them. It's just different television sets, and you have several images that come around people, and you have to kind of pick and choose which one you want to talk about, because the client or the person that you're talking to, they may have another idea of what they wanted you to discuss, and if you pick the wrong television set or the wrong channel, then they're going to say, oh no, that's not it. For instance, I had a reading once with a lady, and I kept seeing a lot of real estate, a lot of open land around her. And I kept seeing other things. You'll see mediumship, you'll see people coming in too, but you might see their animals, or you might see something else. And I also saw a ring around her, but someone's ring. And I told her, I said, well, I see a lot of real estate around you. And she says, no, that's not it. That's not it. Well, she come to find out she was a real estate agent, but I didn't know that. But she wanted to talk about this ring that she had from a grandmother. She wanted to find out more information about it. Well, I saw the ring, but I chose the wrong television set. I chose the wrong channel. And once she said it's the ring that she was interested in, well, then I focused on the ring, and I could talk to her about that. So when you are a clairvoyant, you might not just see one thing. You may see several things. Because as I've told you in the past, that we have this energy around us, which is like rubber band balls, rubber bands. that go around us, and we see the different areas where there's stress or there's emphasis in a person's life. And when our clairvoyance touches someone else's energy rings, we interpret it. And so, was I wrong about the real estate? No, for this lady, but I was wrong because she was interested in the ring. So it's just a matter of picking the right energy string, if you want to call it that, or a rubber band that they wanted to talk about. Now, when you are doing a reading for someone, it's the most predominant, or maybe the largest television set that you see, and that's the one that you would naturally gravitate toward. And this particular case with this lady, it was the real estate, so that's why I had to go there. And she did validate it, and that's important because I wasn't wrong about that. I didn't say, "Oh, well, you're a vet," I didn't say, "Oh, you were a lawyer." I said, "No, you're a real estate agent. You have lots of land, or you're always looking at different houses, going through neighborhoods." So I was correct about that. And it's just a matter of you trusting your senses. And another thing is that I've always tried to get people to work on finding a support group, because when you have a support group, or you have people that are helping you validate things, it's really a good thing, because then you develop your confidence, because the client is the arbiter of the truth. As soon as the client says no, well, then they're right and you're wrong. Or you have to kind of back up, and you got to look at other areas that you're sensing around a person. So you may notice that when people are giving readings, the client will say no, 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 no. Well, it's not that the psychic is necessarily wrong. It's that they are not on the same rubber band, or they're not on the same energy string, and because the energy string that they picked up was more prominent, or more had more significance to their abilities. But once they get on track, well, then they're fine. So it's not a matter of being foolish or trying to trick anybody. It's just a matter of sensing which energy is strongest around others. The same is true with all of the psychic senses. This is just the way it works. Okay, and it's something that as you are developing your own senses, you got to give yourselves a little bit of what you might want to call wiggle room, and also journal some of these things, and you must learn the mechanics of the abilities that you possess. And as you learn a little bit more about yourself, you get better. You just get better. So it's a lifetime of learning, a lifetime of trying to figure out the things that you see. Now, one of the things that you need to understand about clairvoyance is that it's often flashes. Okay, so when you get a flash of a picture in your mind and you don't understand it, then you have to go back to that psychic test that I talked about a long time ago on one of the previous programs. And you have to also kind of maybe memorize that flash, because if you memorize the flash, later on you might be able to pick up details, and you might be able to say, "Oh, that looks like a part of a boat, or that looks like part of a car, or that looks like something else, or a coat." And when you do that, well, then the energy from that image will make more sense. Now, why do we get flashes of psychic energy? Because once again, we go back to that rubber band ball. When you have that rubber band ball and you have all of these things going round and round and round, when your energy hits the other person's rubber band, you either see the images in a line like a movie, or you see it in a flash. You see. So these are just a few tips that I wanted to give you today about clairvoyance. I also want to tell you a little bit about my meetup group before we close today. My meetup group is going to be starting up very soon. We just made a deal with a restaurant where we can have some free meetups. If you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, look for that. It's called Beyond Metaphysics Meetup Group, and I'm delighted to start that again. So once again, I want to thank you today for joining me here on the Psychic Side. Be sure to go to our sponsor's website, Miracles of Joy. Use promo code PS0223 on their website and get a big discount on your purchase. So once again, thank you very much for being here. Go to our website if you'd like a reading. I'll be happy to do that for you. And then you become a psychic VIP. So look forward to hearing from you soon and see you all next week. Thank you so much for being here today.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Energy, Healing, and Spirit Talk with Tammy Petricelli. Live from TammyPetricelli.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Energy, Healing, and Spirit Talk
On A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're talking from. The host is Tammy Petricelli at tammypetricelli.com. We've got the wrong name up there, but that's okay. Dave will fix that. I know he will. He's an awesome producer. How are you today? You know, I'm here in Newark, Delaware, and I've been in Newark and New Jersey, Delaware and New Jersey today. And very funny, March comes in like a lion, out like a lamb. Well, the lion is roaring today. The wind practically knocked me over. It's really something. I drove through a minor snow squall. The sun is shining now. This weather can't make up its mind what is doing. Okay. All right. So good morning, afternoon, or evening, no matter what you're celebrating, where you are. Welcome to Moonstruck.tv and A1R Psychic Radio. I'm Tammy Petricelli, and it's a windy day here in Newark, Delaware. I'll tell you, in like a lion, out like a lamb. I told everyone as I was picking irises in November and daffodils for Valentine's Day, I knew that March was going to be full of surprises. And it is full of surprises. So we're looking at March, the third month in the 23rd year. So we've got 2-3-2-3 or 3-2-2-3, twos and threes. Threes are your ascended masters sending you messages, and twos are, okay, we've already started something new. Let's accelerate that. Let's move it along. Okay. So, we've got to put out there what it is. It's like a manifestation year. Not just for me, but for you too. So I do want to say that before I take my caller, I do want to say that I encourage everyone to explore your own psychic gifts. We all have gifts. We all have some level of intuition, and I want to encourage you. So you can always go to my website, tammypetrocelli.com, and send me a message, an email. And wherever you're living, I have friends who teach in England and friends who teach in Scotland and friends who teach in Australia, and in the United States and Canada. So if you feel like at the end of May, come over to Philadelphia. I will be teaching an intensive weekend intuition, psychic, and mediumship development course. And I invite you to check that out. So I want to say hello to Sandy. Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Tammy.
And how is it in the north? You're part of the Northeast.
Oh, yeah, we got some real snow going on. I'll tell you, in like Lion, or out like a lion, we are snowing. I got 5
like a lion, out like a
we got
lamb.
all night to snow. It's crazy.
Oh, Mom. Can you believe it? And I'm almost afraid to say this, but we got 0 snow this winter. 0 snow. And that's what I kept talking
about until just now.
Isn't that something? I told everybody, wait till March. Wait till March. Okay, Sandy, do you have a question for me, or would you like me to try to communicate with a loved one on the other side? How can I be of assistance to you today?
I would love you to try to get in contact with a loved one. There is something precious that's missing, and we need to know where it was put.
Ooh, well, I can't guarantee that, but tell me who it is and what your name is, and I will try.
My sister-in-law. My sister-in-law, Donna, who passed away.
Okay, Donna. All right, Donna. Oh, I like Donna. What a sweetheart Donna is. She shows me, she comes in very excited, very happy she knows that you were going to ask her this. Hold on. Did Donna move prior to passing, or has someone moved from the house prior to or after her passing?
No, she passed out of the house, so you might consider that a move.
Yes, because what makes me feel is what you're looking for has been moved. And by any chance, would this be porcelain or china?
No.
What's the object, please?
Her wedding ring. She took it off when her hands swelled before they got bad, and we don't know where she put them.
Okay. What I was feeling was this porcelain cup, actually. So I wasn't sure if I was looking at something made of china, something made of porcelain, but I feel like it's in there. I don't feel like it almost made me feel like she took it with her and it was sitting in porcelain. I don't see it sitting in a ring, like you have something that holds specifically for jewelry, that has the little thing in the top that you put the ring in. I don't feel that that's where it is. I feel like it was placed in a china cup almost, or a porcelain bowl. So I would look there. Is there I don't feel like it's in a dining room, but I do feel like it might be in a kitchen. Are there shelves behind the table? Are there shelves back there that would have dishes or something displayed?
Yes.
Look in there.
There is in the kitchen more so than the dining room.
Correct. Because I see her sitting at the table, the shelving or display behind her, and it may be possible that she just turned around and put something in there, because I feel like after putting soap there, possibly, or something to get it off. I don't feel like she did it upstairs. I feel like it was in that area that it was done. But she is very excited, very happy to see you. She has a daughter, please?
No. Well, a daughter-in-law.
Okay, because she's referring to the younger daughter. I think she's referring to her as daughter-in-law, because she makes me feel like it would be nice to be handed down, and she almost makes me feel like that's where she would want it to go, since she doesn't
Her
have
granddaughter.
or the
Her granddaughter, yes.
the granddaughter. Thank you, not the daughter, the granddaughter, because she showed me it going to a younger girl, if she could.
Yeah. That's
Thank
why we
you.
want to find it.
Well, just take a
Oh
breath.
my gosh.
It will show up.
Oof.
It will show up. Okay.
Okay.
I just feel like such a sweetness from her. And is she the one that had the funny laugh or the big laugh, please?
Oh yes, she had a funny laugh.
She's laughing for me, and I can't tell if it's a combination of a funny giggle that goes into a big laugh, or it's one or the other.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The laugh was
that would describe her.
Perfect. She tells me that laugh was distinctive, because
Yes.
she loved being with people. It really, really, it was. I want to say it. Anyone who gets an illness, it's depressive. But she makes me feel like, for her, it really was. She wanted to stay. She wanted to be with her grandchildren and her children and her family. She loved being with her family. She did absolutely not like having to, I guess she went into hospice or nursing care.
Yeah, well, she went into emergency in the hospital.
Okay, so hospital, not hospice.
Hospice in the hospital. Yep.
Okay, because she was the kind to take care of everyone else. She didn't, want to be in a position where she had to be cared for. And she says, please remember me with that crazy laugh, that giggle to a laugh. Remember me as being, loving my family and being with my family, not how I was at the end. She makes me feel, would you understand her, like not wanting to go to the hospital, like having to be pushed, or someone says,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because it's like, so I hear somebody saying, Mom, we have to go. I'm calling the ambulance. This is it. You've got to go. We can't, they didn't want to watch her. They knew that she was in that stage, that condition,
Yep.
and it was time to move. Yep. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. But she does send so much love. Your brother really misses her. Is this your brother's wife? Correct? Yes. He really misses her. And I see the number 3. Has she been gone 3 years, 3 months?
1 year, but she left 3 behind.
She left 3 behind. Okay, thank you. But I knew it was not a long time since her passing. The 3 that she left behind. Yeah. She wants to see your brother kind of move forward. She makes me feel he's not moving forward well enough for her, because she feels like she's kind of like, okay, come on, time to move on now.
You tell her we got him. We've got him, don't worry.
She knows that, okay? But she's like, get him moving along. She says he's not good alone. Do you understand that?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah, some people are like, hey, I'm good. I'm moving forward. I'm keeping busy, and I can fend for myself. But she makes me feel like, your brother really depended on her. They were a good match, and he's really kind of lost without her. They were together for were they high school sweethearts or college sweethearts?
Yeah, in that time frame. Yes, fresh out of college.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Because they make me feel like it's been, quite a long time. She also makes me feel that was this a cancer diagnosis, please?
No.
Was this a second? You know what? Here's what I'm feeling so that you can help me. I feel like this was not the first diagnosis or the first illness. Does that make sense?
In a manner of speaking, yes, it does.
Okay, you can put two and two together. Good, thank you. Because that's why I thought it was cancer, because it made me feel like there was an illness and then something happened. So it's, or I had this just yesterday where someone had an illness, but they got COVID on top of it, which exasperated the illness. Okay.
Her son
Makes me feel like it
passed away 9 years ago from the same thing she passed away from last year.
Oh, so two of them. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you for, spirit is never wrong, but our interpretations can be wrong or off, but I want to thank you. I'm sending so much love, and please check those dishes in the kitchen and let me know if they show up or when they show up. And if I'm wrong, let me know that too.
I will. What's funny is I had 2 days ago when I planned to call you, I was thinking to Donna in my head, where are they? And all I got was a thought of in a small container.
There you go.
And you just helped narrow down to what type of container. So
there you go.
We're going to search the house.
Maybe you need to come and take my class. So thank you, everybody. Our time is up. I appreciate talking to you, Sandy and Donna. And I will see you same time, same place, right here, A1R Psychic Radio, Moonstruck.tv, Tuesdays at 3:15 EST. Bye.
Listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Vancouver Island Media with Terry Lynn Boyle. Live from terrylynboyle.ca.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Vancouver Island Media
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon. It's good afternoon. How are you today? It's Terry Lynn Boyle. I am here on Vancouver Island in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. Canada, yes, that's where I am. And I wonder where you are. Now, this is my first show back. I took a little bit of a hiatus for a couple of years, I think probably about 4 or 5 years, and now I'm back. So, how is everyone today? We're going to do a reading today, but first I want to talk a little bit about something that I actually read on the internet. This was something, as I get older, I think about, age, right? The things that I've missed out on or the opportunities that I haven't taken, something along those lines. So I just want to look here real quick for this. I meant to have it up and I forgot. So this is some sound advice for retirees, okay? This is just to kind of get you to start thinking about this, whether you're 35 years old, 45 years old, or 85 years old, who knows? So between 60 and death, it's time to use the money you saved up. Use it and enjoy it. Don't just keep it for those who have no notion of the sacrifices you made to get it. Remember, there is nothing more dangerous than a son or daughter-in-law with big ideas for your hard-earned capital. Keep a healthy life without great physical effort. Do moderate exercise every day. Eat well. It's easy to become sick, and it's harder to retain your health when you're older. Always buy the best, the most beautiful items for your significant other. The key goal is to enjoy your money with your partner. One day, one of you will miss the other, and the money will not provide any comfort then. Enjoy it together. This was a big thing for me. Not because I don't enjoy my husband, because a lot of times we sacrifice and give to our children or our grandchildren or our great-granddaughter that we have now, without really putting ourselves first, and then thinking that pretty soon, we're going to retire. And so we need to start thinking about ourselves. And that brings me to self-love. Always love yourself. Always. Life is so much better when you're not so hard on yourself. I know myself, I'm very critical of who I am or who things that I do or that I have done in my past. Everything in my past helped me to be who I am today. So I'm very grateful for that past. So look in the mirror and be grateful for every single thing that happened to you in your past. Everything. Okay? Because all of that made this. And you should love this. It's the only thing we have here on earth. This is our vessel. So let's love us. Let's take care of us. And then we can move forward with where we need to be. Just a little introduction to myself. I am 62 years old. I am married. I have 4 children. 8 grandchildren and 1 great-granddaughter. I own a store called the Amethyst Forest. It's a metaphysical store, and you can get anything from crystals to pendulums to books to tarot card decks or oracle cards, just about anything. And you get the personal service of my beautiful girls that I have working for me, and gentlemen. I do have a couple of guys that work here too. So let's get started with how you start your day with self-love, okay? I kind of started talking about retiring, self-love, and how you have to love yourself first, correct? Because who's going to take care of all the other people when you get sick? So make sure that you're loving yourself, okay? The first thing that I do in the mornings, okay, so we'll start with a little daily spiritual practice, okay, and a little self-love practice. In the mornings, take 10 minutes and just sit with yourself, and find all the things that you're grateful for about your life. Write them down. Use them as affirmations to remind yourself about how amazing you are. Then do you have oracle cards? Today I'm using the Oracle of the 7 Energies by Colette Baron Reid. She's lovely. She's Canadian too. Not that I'm proud or anything, but she is. She's amazing. She's just a beautiful human being. So I take these and I just shuffle. And all of a sudden one will jump out. And I'll take that card. I will read it. This is a beautiful card there. Roses, isn't that pretty? I'll read it just by looking at it. And I'll use my intuition and I'll write in my journal. And then I open up the book, because all of the oracle cards usually come with a little book. So I'll open up the book to that card and I'll read that and I'll journal about that. It takes about 30 minutes every day. You've got your 10-minute meditation, and then you've got your card pull, and then you're journaling over it. It's always 30 minutes. It's a good way to start out your day, don't you think? A lot of people will do yoga, and this is something that I love yoga. I just don't take the time to do it. So I'm going to try and do that here. Okay, that's enough of introduction, but every week I'm going to talk to you about self-love. Okay. Every week we need to learn a little bit more and make a conscious effort to love ourselves. If we love ourselves and we put our fears down away and overcome our fears, then you just automatically throw that love out to the world. And pretty soon we're all getting along and everybody's loving everybody. Wouldn't that just be amazing? Okay. Well, we're going to bring somebody on here now for a reading in 2 minutes. So I'm going to talk for another 2 minutes, which I had planned on doing. So here we'll pull a card for the world today from these beautiful cards. These cards come, Colette Baron Reed is from Ontario, and I have taken a mastermind class with her, and she's quite lovely. She's a beautiful person, a beautiful soul, beautiful human being. I've met her once in person, but we had classes. There's only like 20 of us in the class. So we did get to know each other quite well. And all 20 of us, as well as Colette, and then her 2 admins, and life coaches. And oh my goodness gracious, what an exciting class that was. So if you ever do have an opportunity to take a class with Colette Baron Reed, take it. She's amazing. Sandra Ann Taylor is someone else I took a class with. She's quite lovely too, and she's out of California. Kyle Gray, he's wonderful, and he's out of Scotland. John Edwards, he's out of Long Island. Yes, he's the same place as Teresa Caputo. So today, what I'm going to do is we're going to have somebody come on. We're going to do some free readings, and I'm going to pull some cards for them. We'll see if we can't bring up some of their folks who have passed away, and maybe we can get the healing to start, because that's where it all begins. The self-love, the self-healing, and don't beat yourself up. No more beating ourselves up. I know anytime I call myself, I'll do something, I'll go, oh my God, I'm so dumb. No, take it out of your, take it away. Don't say it anymore. No, it's gone. I'm very smart. I'm very intelligent. That's right, I am. And sometimes I have to remind myself of that. So, do we have a caller? Are we going to bring her on now, or him? So, Jeanette, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello, Jeanette. How are you today?
I'm okay, thank you. You?
I'm fabulous. I'm back on doing this show. And you are in Southampton?
Yes.
That's a long ways from where I am.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm actually in Canada, but I have been to, tell me exactly where Southampton is.
It's in the United Kingdom, right down the south of the country, where the cruise ships go from.
Yes, okay. I think that I've actually I went to the 80s Rewind Festival in Henley on the Thames, and I was down in, there was a, oh, you would know it, it's the Birdman competition or something. Anyway, that's not here nor there. Let's get to you. So what is the reason that you're calling today, Jeanette?
I'm intrigued to see what this year holds for me.
Okay. It's going to be a good year, I think. You've had a couple of rough years here lately, haven't you?
Yes.
Found my pen. Yay. Okay. So, Jeanette. We're going to pull some cards from the Oracle of the Seven Energies card deck today. It's right here. This one's for you right here, okay? This year is going to be very, very prosperous for you, I believe. Are you going into something new? Are you starting a new job? Are you having some kind of new income come in? Or are you looking for, for something like that?
No,
well,
not that I'm aware of.
So this card is a beautiful card. It's called Bearing Fruit. And I'll show it to you if you can see it. This one is it's how's your family doing? Because this is about your family life, I feel, your family tree. Have you lost a child?
Well, I don't have. Sorry?
Did you lose a child to miscarriage or something like that?
Yeah, I'd just say yes to that, yeah.
Yeah. You do know that you did nothing wrong for that, right? You did the right thing. Okay. That's not
Oh,
something
no, I
that
know
you
I
should.
did. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm very glad that so many people I find are feel a lot of guilt for that, but that's not necessary for you.
No,
No,
not at all.
And also, are you starting, or have you had your own business in the past? Are you a reader? Because I feel like you're very intuitive yourself.
I am a reader.
That's what I thought. Good. And are you starting with workshops, or have you been starting something new with your mediumship, your reading? Sorry?
No, people keep asking me to further it and do maybe some. I keep getting one girl in particular, one clairvoyant, asking me to do stuff with her. She says I'm brilliant, but I can't do it yet. Maybe in the future I will.
Well, I think that this is something that you're going to come into over this year. I think this is where the transformation comes in. I see stars, I see butterflies. You know what all of those things mean. Lots of butterflies, lots of transformation. And this tree that I'm looking at is growing and is flourishing, okay? The card is called Bearing Fruit. I see, I can see like this is like sacred geometry, and how do I say that? So, and do you work with angels as well? Lots of feathers here.
No.
I would look into some of the archangels and some of the angels in and you know, when I say angels, that doesn't necessarily connotate religion, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure you understand that. And also, so is there animals that you're working with as well, or have you worked with animals, or do you just love animals?
No, I like nature and animals, but that's not really a thing that I would want to do. No.
Okay. See, I'm seeing it's like there's two owls on this card. And it's almost like they're on top of each other. Definitely nature. You're definitely a nature girl, that's for sure, according to the card.
Yes.
So happiest time for you is sitting on a log in the woods looking at a lake. Grounds you quite a bit.
Yes, by water, definitely.
Yes, I'm sorry, water? What's your birthday?
Yeah, I'm Pisces.
Oh, you and I get along really well. I'm a Scorpio, and apparently we're good together. And I'm glad my husband's a Pisces too, so that's always a good thing. So,
yeah.
Have you heard of the book Life Cycles by Christine Delory?
No.
So this book is about the life cycles, because we go through life cycles of 9 years every 9 years. So what is your month and day of your birthday?
The 19th of February.
Okay, that's this makes a lot of sense. So in this book, this is an excellent book, and I would suggest everybody buy this book because it's just great. It goes month by month, giving you I want to say instructions, but that's not, telling you what the month will hold, kind of thing. So you are in a 1 year of your 9 years. So this is when in the first year, just like beginnings. Number one, that's the beginnings, right? And then everything works towards, and then in the 9th year, of course, that's when we close down contracts. It could be karmic contracts. It could be letting go of a relationship. It could be letting go of a job or a career and changing, coming up with new ideas in the 1 year. So you are in your first year. And I think that this year is a very prosperous year for you, not just monetarily, because I do feel like something's going to happen as far as finances go that will, and it's all just going to kind of fall in your lap. Not that you're going to win the lottery or anything, but I mean, you might, who knows? But I think that there's something that comes about that it helps you prosperly, money-wise, but also with your spirituality and your soulness. You know, do you understand when I say soulness? I make words up, so.
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of figured you understand a lot, don't you? You want to just do a reading for me?
I can do.
I know you can. You're very psychic. I can really feel that. And I guess I want to be with the other lady that keeps pushing you, because I too think I can feel just with your energy that you are quite brilliant, and that the world needs you. I can see a line of people behind you waiting. But I could see you doing something like this radio show that I'm doing right now. Is that something that you have done before?
No, I've never done anything like that.
So, and this would be a fear of yours, would it not?
Before it would have, but I'm pretty confident now, I think.
All righty. Well, I should give you the contact information, and you should do something like this, because I think that you would be amazing at it, Jeanette. Are you actively doing readings, and do you have a website or anything like that?
Yes, I do. I don't have a website, but I work part-time on Psychic Sofa.
Oh, there we go. Yes. Well, definitely look into this radio station, A1 Radio and Moonstruck TV, okay? Because I think that you could be, I think you would do really, really well. Now what I want to do, because I always just do this, because, you know, when you're reading cards and stuff, and I don't read cards all the time. I used to be one of those people that was like, oh no, I'm a psychic medium, I don't need cards. You know, the ego was way up there. I was pretty special, right? And then all of a sudden, one day you realize that you're special, but so is everybody else in the world. And that you might miss something, that you can't see everything when it comes to this. So I do read the cards. So let me just read what it says in the book here, okay?
Yeah.
If your life were a tree, what fruit would it bear? Envision the results of the efforts you put into achieving your dreams and desires in partnership with the divine. Can you see the way you think, feel, and believe reflected in the material world? There is always a correlation between what you see, what you expect to see, what you intend consciously, and what you project unconsciously. Everything is intrinsically connected. Magic flows through you from the unseen world into the world you perceive. Gee, you're magic. Who would have thought? You see, even the book knows that you're magic. You really need to get into this, my dear. Moving from the realm of non-ordinary reality to ordinary reality, your birth ideas and thoughts into form and bring your most cherished desires to fruition. Not all ideas will bear sweet fruit. Sometimes you will reap a sour and bitter harvest based on your sense of personal narrative and your assumptions about others. You are in a powerful and fertile season of your life when you are particularly good at making things happen with very little effort. Pay close attention to what you're manifesting now, from your career, excuse me, to your personal relationships. Your influence is strong at this time. If you don't like what your life is yielding, prune the proverbial tree and get into alignment with what genuinely lights you up. Remember, you birth into that which you pay most attention to and consistently hold within your truth. Be clear about what you intend. Can you make this commitment? So, my suggestion to you is to make some goals for this year. You know, I don't know that financial goals, I guess everybody needs to make financial goals, but I'm not sure that that's number one on your priority list. But I think that believing within yourself, not being so critical of yourself, and loving yourself is the key to having a prosperous year and a prosperous life with your soul. So What are your goals for this year? Have you written them down?
No, I haven't even thought about it.
It's March, woman. It's about time, isn't it? You're not answering me.
No, because I haven't even thought about it, really. I'm just plodding along.
Yeah, and being in the moment is a wonderful thing too. But remember that you're a huge manifester. Like, I think that you probably manifest the weather. So, and so make sure that you are thinking about where you can go, because I feel like you're also going to do workshops, like be a teacher of some kind. And I feel like you help maybe younger women or younger girls and help them to be empowered. Help empower them. You empower them. Okay. So are you a part of a circle, or have you thought about doing something like this or teaching a workshop?
I actually thought I'd love to do my own circle. Yeah.
I think that that's a big, big, big thing for you. And I can see it being very successful. And also, have you started to write that book? Because I do feel that you have a book within you as well. And this is probably a little bit about where you've come from, like your upbringing, and then how you got to where you are now.
Everyone tells me I should write a book.
Yes, ma'am. Your life from the time you were born until now has been quite entertaining, interesting, ups and downs. So I think that, I would 100% just get a little index box, or a little book. And whenever you get an idea or you remember a memory that, that would be good in the book, just make a little asterisk and write down a couple of sentences. Remember the time that, my dog got run over and I sent Donny Osmond a letter going, oh. So something like this, right? And then keep that index box, right? And get your book started, because I think that this is going to be huge for you with a book. But your workshops, your class, I look at this. Yeah. Have you even started writing it?
No, not at all.
Well, you better hurry up, because I'm looking at June. So you better get going there, Missy. Okay, I'm looking this summer kind of thing, and that you kind of advertise about it. That would be the best. And then I think probably in August, I feel like August might be when it's full. And I think that you'll be shocked at how many people will be on your waiting list to be in it. I don't think you give yourself enough credit. And I don't think that you realize how amazing you are. You've been given this gift, and to share it and to teach others would be an amazing thing. So start believing in yourself just a little bit more. Okay. I know you've come a long way, and I do want to validate that to you. Okay. I can see that your spiritual growth over the last 5 years, 10 years, always, I can see that, that you're trying to, I want to say be a better person, but I don't know if you need to be a better person, because you're a pretty good person now, right? So, but definitely get this workshop going, okay, so that we can, I can call you and go, Jeanette, I need a reading, please. So, and definitely keep in contact. Like, I'm serious. I'd love to do a reading with you, so.
Yeah, I will.
So
I can do that.
You can get in touch with me on Facebook at Vancouver Island Medium. My website is not up yet, terrylynboyle.ca. I almost got it up, but not quite. I had it up, and then I put it on hold, because you know how life gets in your way. It's time for you, Jeanette, to make time for Jeanette, right? I know you're busy, and I know you don't have a lot of time, but you should make time for what you need, okay? And take care of you, okay?
Yeah. What was your name?
Terry Lynn Boyle. So TerryLynnBoyle. And you can find me on Facebook. I'm known as Vancouver Island Medium.
Okay.
Awesome.
I will find you.
You have any more questions, Jeanette? We got about a minute left.
I do. I've had a really rough time and there's something going on in my life. And I want to know if there's an ending of a situation.
I think that there is an ending to the situation, but not for at least 3 or 4 months. For a little bit longer. It's kind of like it's dragging on for a little bit longer, but it will be a good ending. It'll be a better ending than if it were to stop tomorrow.
But a good ending.
Does that make
for me,
sense
yeah?
to you? Yeah, it'll be a better ending for you. Okay, and but you have to, again, this is a part of loving yourself. You need to believe in it and manifest what you need. Okay?
Yeah. Can I ask you something else as well?
Sure, make it quick. I'm gonna get in trouble.
Do you see any new person coming into my life too?
In November. Okay? Thanks so much, Jeanette. Have a beautiful day. I gotta run. I'll see you guys next week, same time, 12:30, right here on Moonstruck TV and A1R Psychic Radio. Have a wonderful evening from Canada, Vancouver Island.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for Amanda Hall Psychic with Amanda Hall. Live from AmandaHallPsychic.com.au. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Amanda Hall Psych on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Welcome to A1R Psychic Radio here on Moonstruck TV with Amanda Hall Psychic all the way from the Gold Coast. So wherever you are in this amazing planet of ours, I hope you've had an absolutely sensational and awesome week. Here in Australia, it's been a mixed bag, as it always is, as I'm sure it is around the world, you know, between politicians making fools of themselves and wrong. That's not what this is about. It's not a punishment because you've done something wrong. You know, you haven't got bad karma or anything. Holding hands and holding their breath, just waiting for the good things to start happening for you. It's like, you know, you've got a lot of people help or whatever, the reasons why they need somebody to fill in for a month. That's going to change and the job will become yours. Passionate about your job. It can be passionate about your sport. You know, love comes in many different forms, but what is being asked here is if you particularly are an Aries and you're looking to bring in new situations or new opportunities in your life, don't waste it. You haven't got long now while, you know, Jupiter is transiting your sign, because Jupiter only sits there for 12 months or a bit over 12 months in this case. So, you know, you're nearing the end of it. Heal anything that needs to be healed, but don't forget to sprinkle it with a bit of love and a bit of sunshine, and things will certainly look a lot better in your life if you do so. We still have Pluto sitting in Capricorn, still asking us to sort of, you know, look at where the planet's going and what can we do in our small way to sort of contribute or help contribute to the changes that need to happen with global warming. It's also asking us to be very, very aware of what politicians say and people in high places. We can't necessarily believe everything that they say. Sift through it and see what you believe and what you don't believe, and then set your own agenda for what the rules are that you want to live by. And don't be frightened to change your mind. You know, you might have one opinion today and then 3 weeks' time you might have a completely different opinion because new information's come to light. We are allowed to change our mind and progress with the times. So remember that. We're going to talk with Mary Kay in Greenwood in British Columbia in Canada. Are you there, Mary Kay?
Yes, hello.
Hello, what a pretty name. How can I help you today? Do you have a question I can answer for you, Mary Kay?
Oh boy. I don't know. Can we just kind of go with whatever comes up?
Yeah, sure. It's just that, in the limited time we've got here, I like to make sure that I get to the issue that might be the most pressing for you. That's why I ask if you have a particular question. The first thing that they were showing me, Mary Kay, is that there's a number of endings, changes and transformations coming up. Have you been in this last 18 months really sort of working hard towards to bring change and improvement into your life, and you've been fraught with nothing but sort of opposition, obstacles, people sort of don't understand your dream, your vision, and it's like, now I feel absolutely, utterly exhausted. Is that how it's been for you?
Well, how about bought a house, started a job, all of us got laid off, and now I'm like, oh my God, now what?
Okay. But do you feel as if in the time that all this has been happening, that as if you can't seem to take a trick, it doesn't matter what step you put forward, the universe has a different plan?
Yes.
Yeah. Look, I'm not going to say that the universe hasn't got a different plan. I mean, sometimes things are sent to us and we don't quite understand at the time why, or why is this happening? What have I done wrong? The first thing I want to say to you is, Mary Kay, you haven't done anything wrong. That's not what this is about. It's not a punishment because you've done something wrong. You haven't got bad karma or anything like that. I do feel that it was the right decision to buy the house, even though now that you haven't got, as much income coming in because you lost the job. There is another job coming, and I don't think it's very far away. I feel within the next couple of weeks, and it might only start out to be a temporary position, like you've got work for a month and you think, oh, is that really worth taking that on when it could prevent me from taking a full-time job? Look, if the job feels right and you feel attracted to it, take it. At least a month's work is something. And I feel out of that, it's going to develop into something more. I think it's, initially, yes, that's all they're offering you because that's all they can honestly offer you. Whoever it is that's gone off work, whether they're sick or, had a family crisis or whatever, the reasons why they need somebody to fill in for a month, that's going to change and the job will become yours. So I don't want to see you sort of turn something down because you think, oh, it's only a month and it's, is it worth the headache and the disruption to my life? Sometimes we've got to take those leaps of faith because we don't know where it's going to lead us to. I do know by the time we get into the end of April, things are certainly looking a hell of a lot more rosy for you. And it's like you can exhale, you can breathe a sigh of relief and say, finally, I can see things are starting to go the direction that I need. I know we're only in, early stages of March, but if you look at that, being 6 weeks away from where we are now to that point, that's a pretty quick timeline to be able to get yourself back on track and feel like life is moving forward again. There is, some really good things coming towards you this year. You've just got to have faith. Sometimes the universe seems to take a cruel turn to be able to move everything along quickly so that they can get us on the right path. And that's what you've got to believe. This is what's happening to you now, sweetie. And I know things are going to get a lot easier than what they were. They're also there's a lot of people on the other side that have sort of all been holding hands and holding their breath, just waiting for the good things to start happening for you. It's like, you've got a lot of people helping you on the other side. So, if you wake up in the morning and you feel like you've run a marathon and, you've been asleep, maybe you've been over visiting and sort of visiting everybody and having cups of coffee and whatever, and that's why you feel so tired. You've been talking all night, but you've got lots of help coming your way, sweetie. So I hope that's been of help to you.
Good. Say that again, please.
I said, I hope that's been of help to you, sweetie.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Mary Kay, that's where we're going to leave it. We only have a short time to talk with people from around the world. We're going to talk with Diana in Billings in Montana in the USA. Are you there, Diana?
Yes, I am.
Do you have a question I can answer for you, sweetie?
Yeah, I was trying to look for the love of my life, and I was just wondering if that love of my life is going to be coming into my life this year.
Well, that's a really good question, Diana, because, the first thing that I get around you is a major, massive, big pink heart, and that usually indicates new love coming in. It's interesting, though, because I feel in a strange sort of way as if you've prevented it from coming in. And I don't mean you got out of bed and said, I don't want a relationship. I think emotionally you weren't ready yet to trust your own judgment. If someone was to come forward at whether or not I can open myself up, am I ready to open myself up? Can I trust my own judgment? And that's okay. I mean, you know, I think there's times in our lives where we need to be a little bit skeptical that way, that, you know, we've been hurt, we've been through situations that we don't want to repeat. So, you know, we sort of tend to protect ourselves a little bit. And that's what I feel you've been doing. And it's not a criticism. I think it's a good thing that you did that, Diana, because now you're ready to sort of, it's like I can see you opening your arms up and saying, I'm ready to receive the new opportunities, the new potential love. You know, I want somebody that is not just going to be my lover. I want somebody to be my best friend, my partner, somebody I can laugh with, somebody I can cry with, somebody I can just be myself with. And I don't know that in the past that you've had all of that in one package. You've had it in bits and pieces in different relationships or different friendships or different people in your life, but you've never had it all in one package, have you?
Yeah, you are correct. Spot on.
Yeah. Yeah, so this time we're going to have it all in one package, and that, I think, is the magic of this, Diana. Look, I'd love to say, you know, you're going to meet Mr. Perfect next week. I don't think it's quite that soon. I'm sort of seeing the second half of this year, so I'm going to say from the beginning of June onwards. He's very tall, he's got dark hair, he's got dark eyes, he's Caucasian, he's got the white skin, but he's got the most wicked, beautiful sense of humour, and I don't mean a sense of humour that you'd be embarrassed about. I mean a sense of humour that, you know, you could take him to church, you could take him to visit your family and everybody think he was wonderful. That sort of sense of humour. I really like him. He's a decent guy. I think he's also been on his own for a couple of years because he came out of a very serious committed relationship, one that he thought was going to go the distance, and he was blindsided by that it didn't work. And it took him a long time to sort of work through those emotions and look at what he was responsible for and, you know, how he didn't want to repeat that again and attract somebody that didn't have the same value systems that he had. I mean, he just wants somebody that in his life that he can trust, somebody that tells the truth, somebody that he can rely on, and that, you know, you both sort of have similar outlooks, you have similar principles, you've sort of got similar aims in life. And, you know, he's not expecting somebody to be perfect because nobody is, but he just wants somebody that tells the truth and somebody you can have a laugh and a joke with, but also somebody that takes life seriously and values the important things in life, you know, of honesty and friendship and family and, you know, being with somebody and wanting to be with someone. And it's going to be really easy this time, Diana, because you're so similar but different at the same time that you understand each other even without words. I'd be really surprised if you two ever had an argument with raised words. I'm not saying you won't have a disagreement, but most of the time you're able to sort of put yourself in the other person's shoes and say, yeah, darling, look, I see where you're coming from, but I don't quite agree with it. Have you thought about this or have you thought about that? And you seem to be able to resolve conflict that way rather than a screaming argument, because that's the type of people that you are, that, you know, you are able to sort of value the other person's opinion. I think it's going to be a slow-growing relationship to begin with. You're both going to take your time, get to know each other, be a little bit old-fashioned and, you know, have a nice little courtship before it moves into something more serious. But once it starts to move into something serious, I think then it's going to hurtle along at a very fast pace. And I'm going to say he's old-fashioned, Diana. He won't live with you. He believes if we're going to do that, we get married. He's very adamant about that. He was brought up by parents who believed in the institution of marriage, and he firmly believes in that too. But he's a very, very nice man. I think the two of you are going to have lots of laughter, lots of fun. He has a good paying job. And I think he lives probably about half an hour, 40 minutes away from where you're currently living now. So that's not going to be an issue. It's going to be good. So things are sort of certainly really sort of coming together for you, Diana, and you're going to be really, really happy. So the best of luck with your new love.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're very, very welcome. So that's where we're going to leave Diana now in Billings in Montana. We've come to the end of the show again, and each week I usually leave you with a song, and this week's not going to be any different. There's lots and lots of people around the world that have have got broken hearts or have lost somebody through death or, you know, different circumstances in their life. And it doesn't get any easier. You know, if you've lost somebody through death, which many people out there have, and I have many years ago, you know that birthdays, Christmases, Easters, those sort of things are still a lonely place in your heart, even though you may have moved on and you've got a different life and, you know, a long time has gone past or a lot of water under the bridge, as people say. But I think we never really forget those people, and we still like to remember their very special occasions. For me, it was my late husband's birthday yesterday here in Australia, today around the rest of the world. And I want to leave you with one of his favourite songs. And I know that this will resonate with many, many people around the world that have lost somebody or, you know, are away from their loved ones because of work or different things. So I want to leave you with the song by Leo Sayer, When I Need You. And it is a beautiful song, and it's a lovely song, and it's a song that, you know, lots of people can relate to because they are parted from the person that they love, whether it's through work or circumstances or they've passed on. So Leo Sayer and When I Need You. I'll talk to you next week. Bye for now.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Sacred Insight with Andrea Baker. Live from mindbodynourished.etsy.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Sacred Insight
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to Sacred Insights. I'm your host, Andrea Bacon. And I'm just going to talk for a second about stress and meditation and the benefits of meditation. So it's really helpful to release accumulated stress. to do meditation. It's helpful to release like physical ailments as well. It decreases blood pressure. It can even decrease blood sugar with diabetes. There's a lot of benefit to helping with fight or flight and reducing cortisol and adrenaline. And it even can help you with the anti-aging hormone DHEA. Now, with accumulated stress, it can, create disease or like have an effect towards physical, mental ailments and whatnot. So meditation can actually reverse the effects of this, of fight or flight, which can speed up your heart rate and whatnot. It can also decrease blood flow to our digestive organs. And I know a lot of people have digestion issues. And so some daily things that can trigger it are just like sitting in traffic, having criticism, with issues with relationships and whatnot. So just mindfulness meditation is a great thing to do. People that spend a couple of hours each week really see a benefit to healing. And so that's just a reminder to have a meditation practice. Okay, so now we have a caller and we're going to go to Juliet in the UK. Okay. And so I pulled some cards. We have optimism, grateful optimism. So sitting in gratitude and being optimistic about the future. Okay. I know a lot of people may be dealing, like I said, with stress. So this card speaks of hostilities right here. And that, relationship issues are a huge issue with stress, and dealing with conflict is something that we, a lot of us deal with every day. But this is a reminder to sit within yourself, embrace the magic within, and focus on your light. Focus on getting out there, if you're able to, with nature, and so that you can heal your mind and body. And we're going to go to our caller now. Juliet, are you there?
Yes. Hello?
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay, thanks. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. So how can I help you?
I just want to know, basically, on my spiritual area, please, if you can tell me what's going to happen exactly in my pathway with the spiritual work, please.
Okay, I'm sorry. Your spiritual, is that what you said?
My spiritual work, my mediumship, my readings, and where's it going to take me?
Okay. 1 second. Ooh, we got the cornucopia card. So that's abundance. It's going to bring abundance and a lot of joy. And you're going to bring a lot of light into the world doing it.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Yeah. Can you see a holiday or anything like that for me, please?
If you're going to go on holiday?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. On holiday. And that card also was number 11, by the way, which is 1111. I don't know if you've been seeing that or not, but.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Probably will do now.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so we've got leaving something behind that's not serving you. Okay.
Yeah.
Thinking a lot on things that are recurring patterns that aren't serving you is what you're kind of being guided to walk away from. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what month that would be? Please.
Let's see. It's this is an energy of transformation and leaving behind, thinking like what it is, thinking about stuff that you're wanting, how do I put this? releasing negative thought patterns is kind of what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Like putting your attention on where you're going and not where you've been.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is going to bring in adventure. We've got the King of Wands here. So that's fiery, passionate energy. And you're coming out as the Queen of Pentacles. So that is very stable and abundant and independent. So
Okay.
that's your energy, which is very good, you know. So, and you were asking about holiday. And so I definitely think, oh, and then all this stuff is coming out about abundance. You've got the Empress card as well. So that's birthing something new into the world. And it's also abundance again. So you're going to be able to definitely go on holiday if that's, you know, something that you're wanting to do.
You know when that would be? What month that would be?
What month? Let me see. August came to mind. Yeah, I'm thinking August.
Okay. You think in August?
August or September.
Okay. Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
But you have so much to look forward to. Some great things coming in.
Yeah.
I just feel like you can be, you know, in your head a lot, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's what you're kind of being guided to release all those excess thoughts. Almost like you're taking into excess information. Like you don't need excess information, and you might be taking in too much information as well, is what I'm feeling.
Can you see, what do I mean? Do you know what I mean when I say, like, sort of, as a medium on the platform, can you see that happening at all for me? Would you know what I mean?
Yeah, let me check.
Like,
like
on the rostrum, somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And do you do have you been to the spiritualist churches where they do that?
Well, I'm doing a mediumship course at the moment. I would like to do something like that at the moment.
Yeah,
for the
because
future, something.
Go ahead. They're what?
For the future, I'd like to do it.
Okay. Yes, definitely. I'm feeling that. I'm feeling this big energy, you know, propelling you towards that. I did pick up going to a spiritualist church and kind of.
Yeah, I'll be going. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
I'll be going back. I'll be going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know when that would be? Like, when I actually, like, do it? Like, sort of do the mediumship and the spiritualist church or wherever, please.
Well, what you could do is go ahead and start going and just observing, you know, watching the other mediums doing that.
Yeah.
And kind of do that.
Okay.
Yeah, whenever you just go ahead and start doing that as soon as it feels right for you. And then you'll know when the time is right for you to also do that as well.
Okay, brilliant.
To do that, okay? And
Yeah.
this is going to bring in a lot of fulfillment for you. It's going to bring in a lot of emotional fulfillment and wish fulfillment.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
And it's going to bring you, you know, a new opportunity, a new opportunity, maybe a small one at first, and that's going to build up. So.
Okay. Can you see? I don't know if we're supposed to talk about this regarding money, abundance. Can you see the money coming in soon or anything like that?
Yeah, because we have 5 of Pentacles in reverse, so that was feeling kind of left. That's feeling kind of lacking, and that you've got some Ace of Wands coming in, okay, which is that passion. So just really tune into the passion that you have for this, and that's going to bring all the things. But I'm going to have to leave it there. I'm so sorry. I hope this helped, and that's going to do it for my show today. You can always check out my shop on Etsy called Mind Body Nourish to get in touch with me, or also on my Facebook like page as well with my name, Andrea Bacon. I have videos on TikTok also under the name Mind Body Nourish, and you can check out my readings on Etsy as well as the products that I make. I make natural bath and body products.
Listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Insights into Consciousness with Anna Olson. Live from AnnaOlsonIntuitive.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Insights into Consciousness
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, welcome to my show. I'm Anna Olson here on my segment Insights into Consciousness on A1R Radio. Today, I'm going to take a caller on the air, but first, I'm going to just talk a little bit about a few things that are important to me that you may benefit from. So, first of all, tomorrow's the first day of Women's History Month. So I'm excited about that. And I think this is a really good time to not only just like thank all the women in your life for everything they've done, or maybe, think about all the reasons why women make the world a better place, but also if you're a woman, or maybe if you're a man, whatever, celebrate yourself and just be happy to be a woman and figure out what you could do to like really set goals. Because I think this is a good time for women to set goals. There are going to be a lot of really inspiring things in our surroundings, at least in the US right now, where we're going to see things like, Women's History Month here and there at the store, or celebrate Women's History Month. It might pop up online or something, maybe at the store or whatever, you'll see celebrate Women's History Month. So I really think that this is a good time for women to set goals because we'll have so many reminders to work on those goals. And I like to also offer a lot of my clients the opportunity to work on emotional intelligence and education, and really just figure out what you need specifically to feel like you're reaching your goals, the ones that you set for yourself. So this is always, like an independent sort of a process where women can stop and think about how they can better really just leave a legacy for our future. And we have a huge impact on men and women. So we have children, or if you're just an aunt, or if you're just a neighbor to children, you're an example all of the time. So anything that we do or say is going to be held in that person, that child, and it will be an example to them. It will develop their belief systems. It will develop, everything, especially as parents, aunts, grandparents, what have you. This is a process that I feel is very, very important, not just for leaving your own legacy for your own relatives or offspring, but also for what kind of contribution that we're making on this planet. And also to really figure out what medically can be done about things. When you're getting a little older, or you're younger, either way, you're going to have different challenges in your lifespan. And that's really what I want to talk about for Women's History Month today, is that all of us women are at some stage where we can either address issues or ignore them. So the younger generation tends to kind of, and women even, will ignore hormonal issues all the way up to relationship issues, because they don't know a lot about it. I mean, they don't know that their hormone cycle is really connected to the moon cycle. It's the same 28-day cycle. They're very, very connected to nature. They're very, very, influenced by hormones, by the planets, by what's happening with the tide, the moon, everything. And if they don't account for that, then things can go really awry. And then women who are, a little bit older and their hormones are changing in different ways, where they're thinking more about, am I going to go into menopause or things like that? I think that those are women that are still kind of deciding and figuring out, oh, should I do hormone replacement therapy? And I would say, yes, do that. Or should I, avoid the doctor or go? It can be kind of scary to navigate the medical system right now the way it is. But I really do believe that it's better to just address your health issues. That would be one category of what I work with my clients, is health, finances. Even your parents can closely relate to health, because that's your self-confidence. And, do you want to, what kind of hairstyle do you like? Everything from what kind of makeup and hairstyle do you like? Do you like a certain type of clothing? Do you want to go try to get, I don't know, Botox or something like that? I mean, nothing's off limits if it's really just your goal. So do you want to go back to get another degree or a certification in something so that you can better your career or increase your finances? Can you go to a professional that can help you with wealth finance, or with anything that you need to figure out your retirement? There are so many different phases of life where you can set goals that'll really, really make sense later on. And to be honest, the reason why I really am passionate about this specifically is because there are so many women from the past generations who are still really struggling with, finances. Some of them are widowed, some of them are divorced. And if they've spent their whole life really raising kids, which is a huge contribution to society, unfortunately, it doesn't have the best payoff. It doesn't have the best retirement system. Unfortunately, it's really underappreciated and overlooked as one of the most important things on the planet. If we don't give our little babies, a primary caretaker that's healthy, happy, and provided for, these children can grow up to be psychopaths. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Society is what it is because of the mothers usually. And as much as I would like to say, oh yeah, a lot of fathers stay home with their kids, it's just not true. I mean, let's just call a thing here. So, I really think that it's important to really look at motherhood. And if you're not a mother, what are you contributing to society? In that case, there are a lot of things that women contribute. So, I just really want to put emphasis on this, because a lot of the people that I've done readings on, that I've worked with, some of them don't have children and never been married. And what will they do? It's harder for them sometimes, and it's easier for them sometimes. It's about really making you really accountable for your own life and your own future and your own present as well. So when I talk about women in all these different situations, I think the one group of women that is the most I guess, jeopardized in their mental health. And a lot of the studies have shown, and I wasn't really going to talk about this, but I'm really feeling drawn to talk about it, is African American women in the United States, at least. I really feel like there needs to be a lot more attention and care given to these women, and they really are at a vulnerable place. And I would just like to ask you to extend your sentiments, your support, your checking in with our Black women, because I really feel like this is one of the groups that is just really taking the trickle down effect from society. From, if you look at the model in psychology as to what who suffers the most depression, anxiety, all of that, it would be the Black woman. And that's really why I want to put emphasis on that. I've felt this for a long time, and I haven't really put it out there because I felt like, well, I'm not a Black woman, so should I really say this? Yes, I should. We should support so much, like anybody who's vulnerable, and not to try to put them in a category of like a charity case. I'm talking about really supporting them in their strength and like making sure that we extend our good graces and support. So that said, I am going to take a caller now from Pennsylvania. Caller, are you there?
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. Is it Chris?
Yeah.
Hi. So what can I help you with today, or what would you like to focus on? You can ask a question, or you can have me focus on a specific topic.
Well, my past boyfriend, he passed away, and just, like half a year later, I really met this nice guy. I felt like a connection with him. And recently he said, like, I want to break things off because I'm not ready for a relationship, but I still like you. But he's been giving me like on and off feelings, and I just want to know, like, is he like meaning to come back, or is that just a way to nicely break it off and move on?
So let me just make sure I have this correct. So you're with your boyfriend, and he broke it off, and now he kind of wants to come back, and you're wondering if that's a good idea?
Yeah. I mean, no, I don't know if he wants to come back or not. That's something he made unclear. He just broke it off, and I just felt a really good connection with him, based off like other dating experiences since my last boyfriend passed and everything. And I just want to know if like he actually does have feelings and he wants to come back, or if he is just saying that just to move on. And yeah.
Okay, thanks for clarifying. That's really hard to lose somebody in two ways. You're talking about loss in two ways. And what I like to highlight in these circumstances is that oftentimes these are lessons. And this feels to me like it's just a really hard lesson right now because you're feeling so vulnerable. And I'm also having a feeling that maybe you weren't completely ready for the last boyfriend that you're still kind of wondering about. I do think you guys would be very compatible, and I think that's that draw you feel toward him. But I don't feel like, I feel like the issue there is that you're still in different stages of grief, because I'm also feeling like there was something else that happened fairly recently, maybe. I'm just feeling a lot of grief and trauma from loss. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And when we're in grief and loss, sometimes we don't give exactly, as much as we could. And I think that's what your boyfriend was feeling. And it's almost like I keep hearing Spirit tell me that he was saying to himself, if only she were a little bit farther along with the grief or with this thing she's dealing with, I really feel like this could have worked out. So does that? Yeah. Yeah, it's not that it was you as a person. I really feel like he really felt compatible with you. It was just the circumstance and the timing. So I feel like it's good that you're reaching out for a reading. These are all the self-care things that we need when we're going through something difficult. I would also wonder if you've been able to work with somebody who is specialized in grief counseling or something like that.
Oh yeah, I've been getting counseling and stuff like that, and I'm just not moving on, but I don't know how to explain it. Like I'm moving on through life just day by day and stuff, and I am doing a lot better than I was like half a year ago. So
yeah,
but I just I don't I don't know if I should reach out to him or if I should just leave it and let him do his thing. Like I don't want to make any mistakes, but I also don't want to have that wondering in the back of my mind and everything. So
yes, I understand completely. I feel like it's good you were getting that therapy. It's still working and you're still processing what you learned. I'm also feeling like this. I got the Hanged Man for you, which is basically just symbolic and indicative of this is a new chapter for you. I feel a heavy possibility that you could still get back together with this boyfriend, but I think that you should know. Are you aware that he's seeing somebody right now?
no.
Because I feel like there's somebody else in the picture, and this is the thing that I'm seeing that would happen if you were to reach out and contact him. I think that it would kind of complicate things with the woman he's with now. And he really, or is just seeing, I don't think it's really serious right now, but it's kind of like the beginning stages, like it feels like, or maybe it's long distance. It doesn't seem super close.
Mm-hmm.
And what this would do is if you were to reach out right now, it would complicate that with her, and it would kind of make him feel a little frustrated because he has a few things he needs to learn from her. So I do not think that he will last with her. She is one of those, what I call somebody who just kind of comes into the picture for a little while and they teach you a lesson and then they're supposed to exit your life. And they teach you and they're there for a good reason. But I call them the transitional people because they're sort of there during a transition and they're there to teach you something you needed to know so that you'll be successful with the person you're supposed to be with long term.
Mm-hmm. Is it someone that like from work or like?
Let's see. I can check on that for you. I know sometimes we just need to know, right?
we used to work together, and then I left and went to a different job, and then like a few weeks afterward, that's when he broke it off. So I kind of had that like thing where it's like, is it he's seeing someone, and so is it someone from work or someone he just, I don't know, just knew at school or what?
Yeah,
but I don't want to waste my time.
Right. Yeah. I think that it's more about let's see, is it somebody from work? I'm not seeing that answer. That's interesting. Usually I can see it. Spirit's saying no. They're not. It's for your highest and greater good. Whenever your spirit guides say nope, we're not going to answer that question right now, it's because they're protecting you. And they're protecting your basically like the people around you so that you're going to save some hurt feelings basically, or maybe it's just that you don't need to know that right now. Does that make sense?
Right.
So it's interesting because I think he's going to really figure this out. I think he is going to realize, I think he needed somebody else to kind of so that he knows a little more about women and he knows what they're like a little more before he can make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Because it looks to me like, is he pretty young?
Yeah, he's like a month younger than me, but I mean, we just connected so great and everything. It was something I've been searching for a while now, and it kind of hurts that I lost it.
Oh, how old are you guys?
I'm 22. He's 22.
You guys are young.
Yeah. It's kind of hard because I like with my past boyfriend, we were together for 5 years and stuff, and like we're like I'm an old soul. Like me and him were old souls, so like we were literally had everything together, and had our own place and everything. And then when he passed, like I guess I want to have that connection again, where I'm trying to get somewhere. And this generation now is like not a lot of people are loyal or have long-term relationships. They just want to go move around with people. And I was afraid if the guy I connected with, he's one of those people.
I know it's so hard these days to navigate that. And I mean, just for your information, like I have a lot of free information about this exact topic that I've gotten from doing a lot of readings on people of all ages. And I post most of it on my TikTok account, which is Anna O Intuitive is my handle on TikTok. And I post a ton of videos on that topic, on when you're feeling like, what do I do? I can't trust anybody. I have a lot of these different things I've picked up in my background with psychology, and being able to how to tell, and just knowing a lot of facts about men specifically for women and women specifically for men, because it kind of goes both ways, lately. But Spirit is showing me that you have a potential. I kept pulling more and more cards. It's almost like Spirit was like, tell her to just go somewhere else. I mean, that I pulled, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards, all with men on them. And they each represent, Spirit was telling me that they each represent a different guy in your life. And these are all potential men for this beautiful, wonderful young woman, 22 years old, and she has all of this in front of her. So, I mean, basically, she is going to be able to really pick and choose. And that's really what I am hoping she realizes, is that there's a lot of other guys out there that should be very compatible with. So this is indicative of that really great story where somebody is just really, really wanting. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just saying that I see 5 guys. According to what I pulled for you, there are 5 men that I see possible for you. Spirit is showing me that you are going to be in high demand, and that you don't have to think a whole lot more about this guy. I really feel like you have a lot of these wonderful potential guys in your future, and you're the lucky one. In a way, right now is how you feel, but the truth is that these guys are the lucky ones. And you're the prize, like you're the prize relationship person. Spirit is showing me that you get to pick and choose, really. There are going to be at least 5 others that you can pick and choose from.
Oh,
so this is exciting. Try to just switch the way that you're thinking about this into who's lucky enough to have you, because Spirit is showing me you have huge potential. Spirit is showing me, which is common at your age, I think, like to think that maybe, this guy was it because you had all these great feelings, and that's wonderful. He was there to teach you. But I'm getting that you're attractive, you're beautiful, you have a wonderful personality, you are kind. You would be a wonderful mother if you wanted to choose to do that. And that's what is going to really attract all these guys to you. So, I mean, is this, do you realize that there are a lot of guys who are after you even right now?
I'm just very picky. A lot of them want something and I want something else. Like I want long-term relationship, trying to get to where I need to be, and a lot of them just want to fool around. So I'm not about that.
So I think that that's just Spirit confirming that you have 5 men who could be potential mates long-term, in a long-term committed relationship. So the other guys that are just wanting to basically hook up or fool around, they are in the background. You're already keen on them. You already get it. You're intelligent. Spirit showing and telling me that you get it. You've learned your lesson with that. You know all about it. And now you're just navigating really like which guy out of the 5 to choose that you want to have your long-term with. So remember that when we're in grief, we kind of sometimes feel like, I don't want to do that again. That hurt too much. I can't do that. But remember that you are going to meet more guys, and you're going to heal. And then you'll be more and more ready as time goes on. So you learned from this last guy, you learned that maybe you weren't ready. And you learned that maybe there were a few things about him that you'd want in a long term, so I really see that you don't need to worry about the relationship thing. You will find a guy, and there are a lot of guys who are in the same situation that you're in, saying, how do I find a girl who isn't just, kind of immature and playing around and doesn't really want a long term, or is afraid of all these guys taking advantage of her to the point I can't get close to her. I really feel you're going to find your guy, and he's going to be in this similar situation that you're in. But Spirit is saying, just pick one out of the 5. Pick your favorite for long term.
Okay.
This is very good news. I love delivering good news. And I
guess that means just don't even worry about our dude at this point.
Yeah, you'll find them. There are already guys with their eye on you now, and they want a long term as well. And I this is why I post so much free content on my TikTok account, like real quick videos, just explaining a few things, because I've run into so many people I've done readings on like this, of women of all ages, men of all ages. They go through this thing with the dating pool, and it's a nightmare right now. It's in this transition, with the apps and everything. They're on the apps, or they're trying to meet people, and they're trying to figure out. It's crazy. It's not like anything I ever had to deal with. I'm in my 40s. So
that's why it was easy with the boyfriend who passed away. We were high school sweethearts, and we met in middle school. So we didn't have to worry about finding someone on an app. It was all just old school love, I guess. And I just, yeah.
That's so hard. I know. It's, and the thing about him, you can always continue your reading with me too. If you contact me, AnnaOlsenIntuitive.com, it's on the bottom of the screen. You can contact me and we can continue the reading, but because I'm running out of time. But I just wanted to tell you real quick that, like clockwork, people who have lost somebody and they've passed, that they've been with, that person wants you to move on to somebody wonderful, and they're happy for you. So I just want to make sure you know that.
Yeah.
So give yourself.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling. I'd love to continue the reading with you if you'd like. You can contact me at AnnaOlsenIntuitive.com. There's a contact page there that you can click on. It has my number, it has my info. But I do have to go. But thanks so much for calling in, and I wish you all the luck in the world. And I'm excited for you that you have 5 guys to choose from. That's exciting.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. So that was a wonderful reading. She has such good energy. She'd be a wonderful mother and a wonderful, wonderful partner. That's the type of girl that I'd want my son to be with. So if you'd like to reach me, you can contact me. I have a lot of free content on TikTok, Anna O Intuitive. And then I am also on Anna Olsen Intuitive on Facebook, and Tiny Medium Queendom on Instagram. So please just get a hold of me if you'd like a reading. I'd love to work with you. I do phone, I do video, and I do in person if you're in my area in Southern California. You can always contact me to see if I'm near you. And until then, just have a great week. And I'm here every Tuesday on A1R at 1:30 Pacific Standard Time. And if you can't see my show or for some reason or listen to the podcast, give me a call. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.
Psychic Radio is pleased to announce that John Capello has joined us. John Capello and the Psychic Side, live from johncapello.com.
Hi, I am psychic medium John Capello, and I want to ask you to join me every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Central Time for my show, The Psychic Side. It is an informative show about developing your personal psychic abilities. I hope you will tune in here on the Ask One Radio, Psychic Radio Network, and Moonstruck TV.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome. Time for the Psychic Side with John Capello. John Capello. Live from johncapello.com. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is the Psychic Side on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello and welcome to the Psychic Side on the A1R Psychic Radio Network, Moonstruck TV, and a bunch of other places. This is a show where you get a lot of information in a little bit of time. Thanks for being with me today. I'm your host, John Capello. I'm a psychic medium from Texas. I just want you to know I'm no longer a flood refugee. We moved back into our home and we've got the lovely task of finding everything that was packed up when we left. Wish us luck. 2023 has not been kind so far, but I intend to change that with some dynamic stuff in the future. And part of that is the psychic side here on the A1R Psychic Radio Network. So I have to talk fast on the program. We only have 15 minutes. And so I'm going to talk more today about clairvoyance. That's my topic for this month. And it's one of the topics that I'm going to be teaching about this weekend in Plano, Texas, at the Haggard Library. If you want to know more about it and you're going to be in the Plano area, go ahead and sign up on my website. You can do that at johncapello.com, and I look forward to seeing you there. But one of the reasons why I am trying to talk a lot in detail about the different psychic abilities is because I like to segment them. And for clairvoyance, I am segmenting it into 12 different areas. And another reason why I'm doing that is because I have so many people that tell me that they can do one thing but not another in the different psychic skills or different psychic gifts. And I want everyone to know that these gifts have different areas in them, you know. And the first one that I want to talk about for clairvoyance is apparitions. Okay. And seeing an apparition is a form of clairvoyance. Now, it is done with your physical sight, not just with your psychic sight. Now, that's a nuance of clairvoyance, but it's very much part of the clairvoyant family. And I think it's important that we start off with that, because so many people tell me that they feel like they've seen or they've seen a ghost or whatever, and they see it with their physical eyes. If you have, that's fine. It's just part of the clairvoyant family. The next part I'm going to tell you about is astral projection. Astral projection is a form of clairvoyance because it's an out-of-body experience. You can find yourself walking around your house or walking around the past, present, or future, or somebody else's house when you're asleep, or if you constantly try to do an astral projection. It's part of a clairvoyant experience because it's visual, okay? Another part is seeing auras. You know, we talk a lot about auras. I hear a lot of people talking about them, about seeing different colors around people. That's great. And there's other ways to pick up aura information. But when you see yellow or you see white or blue or another color around someone, you're most likely seeing their aura, some of the energy that they are projecting out. Another one is dreams. A lot of times we have psychic dreams, and those psychic dreams can show you a person's past, present, future. They can be very, very prophetic, very telling. We'll do shows on dreams because dreams are such an important part of clairvoyance. Another part of clairvoyance is mediumship. Mediumship is when you can see around another person, another entity. And it's not just people that you may see. You may see angels, you may see ETs, you may see other things, elementals, guides, other people, friends. So this is part of clairvoyance and being a part of mediumship. But I want you to learn more about your psychic ability before we learn about mediumship, because that's a whole nother area. And we are installing tools on this show so that you will be able to use them later on when we get more advanced. Now, a lot of times you will see a person's past, and that's a form of clairvoyance. Seeing the present, seeing issues that are around people, that is part of clairvoyance. And then you may see a future. You may see a path that is that's around someone, and that could be their future. Now, a premonition or some other type of a signal can be part of that. Now, another area is symbols. You have to learn what the symbols mean to you, because a symbol is a very important part of our psychic gifts. Some people only see symbols. And if you're one of them, then don't worry about that, because that's something that is perfectly legitimate. And if you don't see the actual item or actual empirical information, if you see a symbol and you know what that means after you have studied it and worked with it, that's fine, because it's all about getting it right or getting it the best you can. Okay, so that's a good thing. Another area is remote vision, remote viewing. Remote viewing is very much a part of clairvoyance. It's part of the three senses that I've talked to you about, as far as being able to see your the world in front of you with your physical eyes, your physical senses, and then seeing your psychic information around a person, and then you have your remote vision. You have your remote psychic abilities as well. One thing that people can do that we don't talk about is see sound. Some people see sound, and they notice that. It's not just hearing something, but it's seeing it. And sometimes it can show up as a color. It can show up as a wave. It just shows up, and you have to recognize what that means to you. Another one, and this is the last one, is deja vu. Deja vu is that sense of seeing something, see that you felt like you were there before. Like, I've been here before. I know this place, but you don't know why. And that could be something about a past life. It could be something that you need to pay attention to. And these are things that you can sit down and journal about and learn a little bit more about yourself, because then you can do what we've called the psychic test. The psychic test is that little test where you say to yourself, how did I feel about this? What are the details about it? Did I hear anything about it? Did I know anything about it? Was there anything I smelled or tasted about this particular situation? And then that's how you discern how to react to it. And it's very interesting to do, because it's something that I feel like you need to do for yourself, because it's all about learning about who you are, a journey of self-discovery. And if you do that journaling, then it will help you keep a record of it so that you know what's going on. Now, the conscious mind is very helpful to develop your clairvoyance, but it's that subconscious that the clairvoyance sometimes works without you knowing it, and it just pops into your mind. And that is exceptionally psychic, when something just kind of falls into your mind, or you have that visual part of a solution or something that comes to you. These are important things to remember when you're developing your clairvoyance. Now, some people say, oh, I never dream visually. Some people say, I don't have remote vision. If you don't, you don't. If you are, maybe you don't recognize it. If you don't, well, then you can develop it, and we'll talk about that. But I have a book out that's called Soul Exercises for the Open Mind. It's a psychic development workbook, and it's something that you may want to have as a handy reference. So as you segment your abilities, you find out where your strengths are, and then you learn how to use them and use yourself as that tool to create a better life for not only yourself but other people around you, because it's an important part of self-discovery and self-development. Now, I'm going to open up soon about having people call in, but I want to get a few more things installed, and we'll talk more about having others call into the show. I want to invite you to also go to my website, sign up for a reading if you like, become a psychic VIP. What that will do is, after you've signed up for your first reading, you get 20% off for the rest of the year, and you'll be able to give that code to other people, and they can use it as well. And we do everything by Zoom, so you can contact me from any place in the world, and we can do a Zoom contact that way, and we can meet online. So I want to just let you know that there's a richness about being a clairvoyant. There's a wonderful part. It's a wonderful part of your life to be able to understand the world with your third eye, because a lot of times when you get an image, you can study it later, and you develop an inventory of images in your mind, just as we talked about with an inventory of feelings last month when we talked about clairsentience. So clairvoyance is a lot like that, because you can notice these different images that are in your mind and be able to discern what they mean, and you'll be able to notice detail too, because the detail is something extremely important when it comes to psychic ability. We also want to notice those colors, the colors that we are seeing around us with our clairvoyance, because clairvoyance and color are hand in hand. Colors are very revealing when it comes to developing our psychic senses. And so these are things that as a psychic you learn to observe with your psychic skills and not just your physical senses. And by the way, and I've probably mentioned this before, but you have clairvoyance and you have all of your psychic senses whether you have the physical sense or not. So just because someone might be a blind person doesn't mean they don't have clairvoyance. As a matter of fact, a lot of times when you see these sci-fi shows or these other types of shows, you'll see the seer in there that doesn't have vision, but they see everything. So it's quite interesting. So I want to thank you for joining me again today here on the Psychic Side, here on the A1R Psychic Radio Network and Moonstruck TV. It's always an enjoyable part of my week to come on and tell you a little bit about what I've discovered being a psychic after all these years. And I hope you'll join me again next week, and we'll talk some more about clairvoyance. And we will delve a little bit deeper. We'll tell you what we're going to be doing the following week as well. So don't forget our sponsor, Miracles of Joy. Use promo code PS-0223. Save a lot of money when you go and buy something there. And we are delighted to have them as our sponsor, Miracles of Joy. So thank you once again. I enjoyed being here today. I hope I gave you some information you didn't have before. And I'll just see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome.
Time for the Cowtown Medium with Kathleen Hart. Live from KathleenHart.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is the Cowtown Medium
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Good evening. I'm Kathleen Hart. I'm so glad you could join me tonight. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about mindfulness tonight. Some things I've overheard in public, heard friends talking about, seen folks post about on social media. There's a lot of scary things going on in the world. I think everybody's well aware of that, but everybody's talking about it a lot, perhaps focusing on it too much. And I hear folks talking about, oh, how badly they've been treated, what horrible things someone said to them. And they go on in great detail about these things. And I don't think they're aware that the way the law of attraction works, you get what you put out. The energy you put out into the universe is what you're going to get back, what you're going to get more of. So if you're talking about all the horrible things happening in the world, all the bad things that have happened to you, all the terrible things that have happened to somebody else, and that's largely all you talk about, you're going to start seeing more of it because you are attracting it to you. And the world needs a lot less of that right now. So let's think positive. Let's send loving thoughts to everyone, and especially to ourselves. We need to love ourselves first so that we can love others. And we need to build ourselves up, talk about the good things and the things that we want to do, things we want to focus our time and our energy on, the things we want to get back. Let's talk about those, build ourselves up, build up each other up, and attract more abundance and attract more good luck and positive outcomes. So let's focus on the positive. I know you probably heard that too much, but it's a good advice. I see we have a caller tonight. Hi, Monica. What can I do for you?
Hi. I just wonder if just give me some insight on some things that are going on with me and where I'm headed career-wise and
Okay.
you know.
So how about career first?
Okay.
Get excited. Good things are coming. Put out to the universe, shout out to the heavens what it is you're looking for. What brings you the most joy? What do you get most enthusiastic about? Focus on that, talk about that, and start looking. The more you focus on it, the more it will turn up. So make sure you're very clear on what it is you want to do and talk it up to yourself, talk it up to your friends, begin to talk it into existence, and then go out and hit the pavement and find it because it'll be out there. But be picky. Don't settle for less than what you're looking for. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I feel like there may be some challenges ahead for you, an important decision to be made. But as long as you stay focused and positive, you can overcome anything. If you expect miracles, you're going to get one, but stay focused. Choose your path carefully. You may be on it for quite a while. Once you get started, you dig those wheel ruts in a little bit deeper. It's harder to get off that path once you've really well established it. So be choosy. Be choosy. Feel like there's someone going on this journey with you. There may be a move involved. It feels like it's either a physical move to a different location, perhaps even a different city. There may be a change in relationships that goes along with it. Does that make sense to you?
There might be some travel, but not really as far as a change of relationships, but maybe some traveling.
Okay. I feel like the change of scenery will do you good. Do you feel called to do something new and different?
I like what I'm doing. I just feel like there's an obstacle right now with my health. And I'm a little worried because it would affect my job.
Absolutely. Stay focused on your health. Don't be afraid to seek out the help that you need, and don't settle for the first opinion. Get a second opinion on anything that's important. Anything that's slowing you down, you want to pursue that and getting something done about that before it becomes a bigger obstacle.
Yeah, it's kind of I'm where I want to be career-wise. I got a promotion, and I'm excited about it, but I have an injury that I think is going to need some attention.
Definitely.
It would affect my job.
Don't let that go. Don't overlook it. Don't downplay it. Too many times folks, these days will say, rub a little dirt on it and go on. Suck it up. It's not that bad. Pay attention to what your body's telling you. If it's causing you that much pain now, potentially it will only get worse unless you do something about it. So definitely seek the best treatment you can find, and don't let anybody tell you, if you feel it's that bad, don't you let anybody tell you that it's not a big deal. Because
Yeah, my
if it's not
husband's trying to do that, but I think he's wrong. I
could
think it's a bigger deal than he thinks.
go with your gut instinct. It very, very seldom will ever lead you wrong. So you know how you feel. Nobody else does. You listen to that and follow that inner guidance. You know, if it hurts, get a doctor to look at it. Go to a specialist. Don't mess around with somebody who doesn't know enough about what you're going through. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been rubbing dirt on it, hoping it would go away, but it's not. It's not going away.
Too many of us were raised to do that, and that is not the best answer. It really isn't.
Well, it's just because career-wise, I'm kind of where I want to be, and then this happened.
Mhm.
So,
Well, you want
Yeah.
to defend that career if you worked long and hard to get there. Don't let this get in your way. But don't just ignore it because it won't go away. Yeah.
Okay.
Be courageous and get the help you need and don't wait. The longer you put it off, potentially the worse it's going to get.
Okay. You always worry about whether you not have whether you have the
Definitely.
money to pay for it.
That can always be a challenge.
Yeah.
Focus on it and shop around. Not everybody charges the same thing. And sometimes if something insurance doesn't cover, talk to the providers because sometimes they have a contingency plan for that. They may offer cash discounts. It's always something to ask about. The worst thing that happen is they can say no. I haven't heard one yet that did. Make sure you take some time for yourself, a little quiet time, a little personal time to pursue your interests and just calm yourself and work on healing any worries or concerns you have that maybe you don't feel like sharing with anybody else. Definitely not with everybody else.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. You need some me time in there too. Gives you a chance to get a new perspective, look at things from a different angle. What I'm hearing is look at the big picture. Take a step back and is it going to matter in 5 years? Is it going to matter in 5 days? Is it going to matter tomorrow? Kind of helps you prioritize where you spend your time and your thoughts. If it's not a big deal, don't dwell on it enough that you make it a big deal. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. I feel like there's something going on where you need to look a little deeper, something below the surface. I feel like there's something good there, but you may not see it at first. It may be difficult to see, but dig a little deeper, look past what's on the surface. Closely examine it because I feel like there's something good waiting there. Is that something that makes sense to you?
Yeah, I've just been something for everybody, taking care of everybody else and not really doing anything for myself lately.
Don't forget to focus on you. You can't pour from an empty cup. That's something my guides love to remind me because I'll prioritize everybody ahead of me and then I have to take a step back and go, wait a minute, need to recharge those batteries, rest up, take care of me, then go back taking care of everybody else. So don't forget to do that. Self-care is very important. Too many women these days overlook that and will just run themselves ragged and neglect their health, and that is not going to get you where you want to go.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been taking care of everybody but me.
Yeah, that's a bad habit a lot of us have. And once you practice, you can begin to get out of that. But don't forget, put you first, self-care, then you can take care of everybody else. Just like they tell you on the airplane, if the masks drop, put yours on first and then help the person next to you. Because if you pass out, you're no good to them. Same logic.
Right.
Was there another area you wanted to focus on?
Are my children going to be all right? Everything going okay with them?
What I'm hearing is they need to simplify. Somebody is making a big deal out of something that really isn't a big deal. And it's coming between two of them. I'm not sure if that's between two of the kids, between one or more of the kids and you, but somebody is letting some small issue get in the way. So let's pay a little attention to that and try to air that out and make sure everybody's on the same page, so we're not spinning our wheels and going in the wrong direction. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I see we're short on time here, so I want to thank you again for calling, and I want to wish you a good night and good luck with everything. And don't forget to take care of yourself.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome. Time for Amanda Hall Psychic with Amanda Hall. Live from AmandaHallPsychic.com.au. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is Amanda Hall Psych on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Welcome to A1R Psychic Radio here on Moonstruck TV with Amanda Hall Psychic all the way from the Gold Coast. Isn't it an interesting world that we live in at the moment? I mean, so much going on around the world politically with, people sort of ramping up their artillery in case of a war, and everybody sort of jockeying for position, saying, no, we're just getting ready in case. And I think it's a very unsettling time for a lot of people because, while this is all going on and then we hear about drones flying in and out of different countries and everybody goes on high alert, and I think it's very unsettling. It's bad enough the war that's going on in Ukraine, and the rest of the world is trying to sort of contribute and help without sort of trying to create a world war. And then you get other countries that sort of turn around and sort of criticize another nation or another country for, building up or beefing up their defense system a little bit in case of a threat. Not necessarily are they looking to pick an argument or pick a war, but they're just trying to sort of have a little bit of self-preservation. So I just sort of feel that the world's in a very tenuous position at the moment, and we all need to be a little bit aware of that. So anyway, let's move on to something much, much more positive and much brighter for the week, and it's the Simply Tarot card of the week, which this week is the Sun card. Now, this is the card of marriage. When I talk about marriage in the tarot, to me it is, the legalized, happily ever after I do type of marriage, whether that's in a church or whether it's in an outdoor setting or a setting of your location. It is the actual part that has the marriage certificate. It's not, the more modern version of just living together and sort of sharing a life together. This is the actual piece of paper commitment. On the secondary meaning of this, which is more likely what's going to suit the rest of the world, is happiness and bright prospects. Now, isn't it nice to see a bright, positive card to sort of say, this next week we might be in line for some very bright, positive, happy sort of things that are coming our way after a long period of time where I think we've had so much uncertainty. And for most of us around the world, this week spells the third year of COVID. This is when the world went to start to go into lockdown, was around about this time 3 years ago. So in some ways it's gone quick, and in other ways it's been the longest 3 years of our existence where our lives did change, and they did change permanently. You know, yes, we don't walk around with masks on anymore, but our lives did change. So this is a bright positive card, I think, to come out around that anniversary of, you know, the world going through change, to sort of say we've got some bright days ahead of us. We've got happiness. We've got things to look forward to. We've got opportunities that are coming our way that we can turn around and say to ourselves, this is where we're meant to be, that, you know, we can have some bright positive things to look forward to in the coming weeks. So I hope everybody's on board with this, because it's time that we all put a smile on our dial and let's sort of look towards some bright positive prospects in the coming weeks, the coming months, and turn our back on the negativity and the things that we can't change, and just try and make the world a much brighter place. So that's really important, I think, that we focus on brightness and positivity at the moment. Now, going on to the astrology section of the show, we have quite a lot to cover today. We've got Mercury conjunct holding hands the Sun. The Sun's holding hands or conjunct with Neptune. Now, these are making what's known as a very tight orb. In astrology terms, we have a little bit of leeway there that we allow them to hold hands or make configurations or make transits. This one's quite tight. So the planet of communication, Mercury is asking us to really sort of think outside the square here. These three planets are sitting in Pisces. So when they're sitting in an energy like Pisces, which is the 12th sign of the zodiac, some people affectionately call it the dustbin. I don't. I call it the most creative, the most informative, the sign that to me has the most wisdom, because it has the ability to draw on the previous 11 signs and take the best bits out of that and the worst bits as well. But to take that power, to take that opportunity to sort of blend so many different versions or so many different ways of telling the truth or looking at a situation. So there's a lot more power there. So with Mercury sitting here, we have the ability now, I think, to negotiate some really interesting conversations, to get some breakthroughs. And I think what happened in the US in the last couple of days with England, Australia and the US all coming together with an arms deal is a classic example of that, of three major nations all coming together for the betterment of the world. And, you know, sort of, you know, not having a slap on your back and have a happy fest, but having a time of very honest communication where they're looking out for each other. It's sort of, you know, a humanitarian sort of opportunity, as well as it is to sort of try and arm the defenses of their nations. But it's working together, and this is what Pisces wants you to do, is to work together, to have some really in-depth conversations, some conversations that are meaningful. For the rest of us mere mortals, that can just be in everyday areas of our life, whether it's with our family, our friends, with our work. It might be things that we need to communicate or look at, things that we've been working on. With the Sun still sitting in Pisces, and it's there for about another 8-9 days now, it's coming to sort of into its own, with the energy really sort of intensifying and sort of saying, okay, this is the time where we really do need to take notice of our daydreams, really be conscious of our own mental health, and sort of really focus on the things that are going to bring us some internal happiness. Now, the final part of this configuration, or this stellium of planets, is conjunct Neptune. Now, Neptune actually rules Pisces, so it's in a valuable spot here, where it's adding a sort of a lot more weight to this configuration, where it's saying, yes, we can get some major breakthroughs. Yes, we might have felt like we were walking down a long, dark tunnel and we couldn't find our way out. We couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Well, now we can. So there's some amazing breakthroughs that can sort of happen in your life if you're only prepared to open up, communicate, but more importantly, open up your heart and allow yourself to listen to what the other person's got to say. You can't always be right. There could be some common ground or some ways there that we can find a resolution that everybody's comfortable with. So everything is very possible at this point in time. So why don't we try and make it happen? So that's affecting Pisces people, but it's also affecting all of us in some sort of small way. But more importantly, it's affecting Cancers, Virgos and Scorpios. So all of those three other signs are really feeling the intensity of this stellium. The rest of us, not quite so much. It's sort of like we're just getting the whitewash on the beach. So we now move on to the next part of the astrology section. And I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks now, that Chiron is conjunct or holding hands Jupiter in Aries. Now it's really sort of very tight now. It's sort of, Chiron is asking all Aries people to find the way forward, find the ways to heal your life. Use this opportunity to expand it right out. If there's something there that's been troubling you or making you sick, or you've had a health issue, or you've had an emotional issue, or you just haven't been feeling your bright, bubbly self, now's the time to confront this. Expand it right out. Have a good look at it. Turn the light on it. And sort of say to yourself, okay, what can I do? How can I fix this? What is the best that I can see out of this situation? You know, really work with this energy before it passes. You have the ability now to sort of really gain some really good ground. You know, for some people, it may be the expansion of going into a new job, that after dilly-dallying and thinking about it for a while, this is the way to go forward. Some people, it's about really looking after their health, sort of saying, okay, this might seem bigger than Ben-Hur, but I've really got to address this now. I can't keep putting it off. I need to focus on this and make it right so that you can get a better quality of life. That's what Chiron is here to do, is asking you to heal your life, whether that be emotional, physical, if you're in pain, if you need an operation, if you've been putting off going to the doctor, the dentist, now's the time to do so. Don't ignore this, because now you're going to get the answers and you're going to get the help that's very much needed. We also have Venus, the planet of love and affection, is also sitting in Aries, but it's not making a conjunction to Chiron or Jupiter. But what I want to talk about now with Venus, the planet of love and affection in Aries, is making a really nice flowing aspect to Mars in Gemini, which means that they're approximately 60 degrees apart. So Venus here is asking us to sort of really sort of take center stage. You know, it's time to speak up about what you really want, particularly in a relationship. If you've been having a few issues, now's the time to sort of gently bring up what you feel needs to be fixed or looked at. Don't put your bombastic hat on. Put your hat on that, you know, look, this is how I'm feeling. I'm wondering how you're feeling. And I know that's hard when an energy's in Aries to sort of turn around and not sort of look at the I, and try and look at the other person. But if you approach it in that way, this is how I'm feeling, I'm just wondering how you're feeling, then maybe we can start to get some breakthroughs. Now, you need to be very careful here. It can be a very positive situation, or it can quickly turn negative, depending on the way you approach it. And that's why I'm saying let's go in on the gentle approach, because Mars in Gemini is the planet of action. It's saying, yes, let's come up with some really great ideas. Let's think outside the square. But with Mars here, you've got to be careful, because Mars can flick from one situation to another very, very quickly. It can be very positive one minute and then all of a sudden become very defensive and very warlike the next, and sort of you think, where in the hell did that come from? And that's why I'm saying choose your words carefully. But I think it's also a time that anybody that's in a new relationship that's looking to want to take the relationship to the next level, this is the perfect time for that. For some relationships, they won't stand the intensity of this, but that means that they were probably going to go through changes and maybe even separations anyway. All of this is done is brought it to a head and brought some more honest and open communication. And sometimes I think we really need to be focusing on that, is honest communication. Now, we've still got Uranus in Taurus. So Uranus is bringing some sort of stability into our lives, and sometimes in a very, very strange sort of way, that sometimes by decisions that are made, we bring stability that we weren't quite expecting, or that wasn't our main objective, but that's the flow-on effect from making changes in our lives, or, you know, something that's happened suddenly that we weren't in control of, and at first we didn't like it, but it's ended up being for our own good. So be aware of that. It's not just affecting Tauruses, it's affecting each and every sign. So it's a time now to really sort of look around you and see what might be changing and go with the energy. I also want to wrap this up with, we've just got Neptune has just entered the sign of Neptune, I beg your pardon, Saturn's just entered the sign of Pisces. We'll be there for approximately 2.5 years. So Saturn will bring a lot more stability into the Piscean's life at the moment, or the other three signs that I spoke about previously. And it's a time there where we can consolidate, we can make dreams a reality, we can bring things to fruition, we can bring about change, and change in a very, very constructive way. You know, you don't have to go and save the world, but you can save your world. And that's what the message is here. We're going to talk with Rosalind in Davenport in Florida. Are you there, Rosalind? Hello, Rosalind.
You know, this is Paulette.
Oh, sorry. Okay, Paulette. I've got Rosalind on my screen, so we'll go with Paulette. Paulette, where are you from, sweetie?
Sandy Springs, Georgia.
Oh, how lovely. Sandy Springs. That sounds like a really beautiful place. So
Yeah,
do you have a
it's
question
nice.
I can answer for you?
Yeah, it looks like I lost my job about almost a year ago, and I'm scared of me and my son being homeless. We're in a place where we have no family or anything like that, and I made the majority of the money. My son's been doing the best he can, trying to take care of the both of us. And I don't know what happened to my life. I almost, I'm scared of the future right
I can
now.
understand you.
I'm just praying a lot.
Okay. Well, look, I can really understand and sympathise with your situation. I mean, it must be very scary, going from a position of having a weekly paycheck to all of a sudden nothing, and nothing sort of coming forward in a 12-month period. It makes you lose your confidence a little bit about, is there really something out there for me? I think it's wonderful that your son has stepped up to the plate and trying to keep everything afloat, so trying to keep a roof over the head of both of you. But I also appreciate that he can't do this forever either, and that's not fair on him. He's got to make his way in the world. What I am seeing, Paulette, is that there is change coming, and I'm going to say not necessarily moving from where you are as in out of that location, but changes around you. And the first one of those is I can see some casual work coming. Look, it doesn't seem to me to be very much to begin with. It's a day here or 2 days there, but I actually feel it's going to move into more permanent sort of opportunity there for some regular work. It may not be back to full-time work. It may only be 3 or 4 days a week, but it's more than enough to be able to sort of get you out of this predicament, this situation that you're in at the moment, and start to be able to breathe a little bit easier. Look, I want to say to you, it really wasn't anything that you did wrong at the reasons why you lost your job. I think it was just a set of circumstances that happened, and the company couldn't afford to keep everybody on. And unfortunately, your name was the one that came up to be let go of. It wasn't anything against you personally. The other thing that they're showing me, and I don't quite know how to describe this, is there's going to be an opportunity before the end of this year, and you will have an opportunity to move into accommodation that is at a much reduced rate of payment per week than what you're in now. But it's not a government-backed thing. It's sort of like a local authority initiative in some way. It's something that happens locally. It's not a federal thing or a government thing. And this will give you the security then of knowing that the rent that you'll be paying on the property that you're in is fixed or attached to the income that comes in between you and your son. And it's like, this is an opportunity for you to really be able to sort of put your roots down and have a place that you're going to call home. And that's good. I feel a lot more settled for you there with this opportunity. I think from here on in, I think things are going to only start to sort of swing upwards for you. Things are going to get better. You're going to sort of feel as if you're back in the driver's seat of your life, and life is starting to sort of unfold again. And this is good because you've been through a really tumultuous 12 months where you really didn't know from one day to the next what the future was going to bring or hold for you. So things are certainly on an upward swing now, Paulette. So I wish you and your son well, and you've got a really lovely young man there who really does care for his mum. That's really wonderful to see. So that's where we're going to leave Paulette now. We're going to talk with Evelyn in Visala in California. Are you there, Evelyn?
I'm here. Thank you for taking my call.
Oh, you're very, very welcome, sweetie. Do you have a question I can answer for you?
Yes, I would like to know if I will become a mother in 2023. I don't have any children yet, and that's a goal of mine.
I think that's a wonderful goal to have, Evelyn. It's really interesting because answering questions about whether or not you're going to conceive a baby or give birth to a baby is technically one of those grey areas that by different laws in different states and different countries, we're not allowed to talk.
Okay.
What I can do is talk about that I can see you very happy and with a major smile on your face. Now, the only reason I think you'd have this smile on your face that I'm seeing is because you have extremely happy news. Now, that, we can take that as, the news that you asked for. And I think it's probably fairly safe to say that that's what the big smile on your face is going to be. It's interesting because when I look at you on an energetic level, Evelyn, it's not as if there's anything there that I can pinpoint and say, well, this was wrong or that was wrong, or, there was any sort of physical sort of reason why you haven't been able to conceive a baby. I think it's just been, it hasn't been the right time. And a lot of people sort of would look at that answer and say, well, that's a bit of a cop-out. But I've been in this sort of work a very, very long time. And the one thing that I've seen over the years is sometimes we aren't always blessed with the things that we want, particularly babies and things like that at the time that we want it. And, you can go to a doctor, you can have all the tests and they say there's nothing physically wrong with you, everything's right, just, don't panic, go home, relax, it'll happen, when it's meant to. And that, I think, in a sense, puts more of a strain or more of a pressure on you, that you start to feel there's something wrong with you. What's lacking in me? Why can't I, produce a baby like every other woman seems to be able to do without thinking about it? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? So I think then we set up a vicious cycle within ourselves, Evelyn, that we're trying to remain positive and we're trying to sort of relax and do all those things. But in the back of your mind is that gnawing little thing, there's got to be something I'm doing wrong. I didn't eat enough carrots, or I didn't do this, or I didn't do that. And I think the answer is no, that's not the problem here. There's nothing that you've done wrong, sweetie. It just wasn't the right time. And, I'm a firm believer in our lives are mapped out for us before we take our first breath. And where our free will comes in is the decisions or the choices we make when we get to an intersection. Do we turn right? Do we turn left? But if it's not your time on your map to be a mother at, say, 25, well, then you won't be. It's just sort of like, sometimes too, I think if we diversify and sort of take up a new job or take up a new hobby or something like that, we break that circuit of shifted our energy into something else. And that quite often is enough to take the pressure off, and then we conceive. I've looked on both sides, you and your husband, and I can't see any physical reason there why this hasn't happened. It just hasn't been your turn yet. So my suggestion would be is try not to get upset about it. Try and look at this as a time that, okay, in the next couple of months, I'm going to take up something that I wouldn't have time for if I was a mum. If there's a special hobby or something like that that you can do and you can put your energy into that, I think that will sort of help things along. Was there a period of time in the early part of your marriage where you and your husband weren't ready to have a family?
We had a miscarriage. Well, I had a miscarriage. And initially, I was shocked. And no, we've been like Oh my. Oh,
Not at the
I was
same
hoping it would
time,
be
but what I'm
twins. That
saying
would
is,
be,
you
that
know,
would
like you
be,
have one and then you're not really trying for a second one. I think there's going to be the blessing of a second one.
no, that would be beautiful.
Yes, it will be. And that's what I mean. You know,
Maybe.
sometimes it's just, who knows why these things happen? You know, they just do. And it's just, you know, sometimes, you know, people sort of say, oh, you're trying too hard. Well, there's no such thing as trying too hard. I think it's just sometimes we are too tense. You know what I mean? Where we want it so badly that we're tensing everything up and not allowing things to just be natural. But I know you're going to be blessed with children. And I really want to be very clear. It's nothing you've done wrong and it's nothing your husband's done wrong. And it's just, you know, it's just one of those things. It's one of those mysteries that we don't have an answer to. Some people fall easily and other people, it takes them, you know, a really long time to achieve the same goal. But I know you're going to be really, really beautiful parents. So take up something that interests you, something that's going to make your heart sing, and that'll get you into a more relaxed state of mind and not so much take your mind off it, but, you know, put your focus over there and that'll be good.
Okay. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you so much.
You're very, very welcome. Okay, same to you, sweetie. It's really interesting when you have people that are trying to conceive babies and things like that, and other people seem to be able to do it very naturally and very easily. No one can ever really explain why, and it's just one of those mysteries of the world. You know, some people are blessed with more children than they need, and other people can't even have one. So, you know, my heart goes out to Evelyn, but I know she's going to have some happy news in the end. So we've come to the end of the show again. I do apologise for, you know, the vision sort of going in and out a little bit. This week I want to leave you with a bit of a fun song. I just sort of feel we've got to lighten up the mood a little bit. We've all been through so much with COVID and restrictions and so much going on with the potential of wars around the world and what's happening in Ukraine, and politics gets on your nerves, and, you know, you're sick of looking at interest rates and the cost of living. And I thought today we'd take a trip down memory lane and have a really fun song, something that we can all sing along to, and I'll probably put it in your head for the next week and you'll be cursing me. But anyway, better to have a fun song going around in your head than something that is a bit too serious. And it's by the Flying Circus. Now, this is really going to test your musical sort of skills and sort of, you know, your musical knowledge over the years. And the song's called Hayride. And I think it's really appropriate, as you guys in the US have just gone into daylight saving and the days are going to get longer with more sunshine. So why not go out and take a hayride? Until next week, bye for now.
Amazingly accurate, clear answers to any question. You'll love Suzanne Marie readings. Clairvoyant reader and spiritual light trance medium. Tarot is used for spirit confirmation. She's been a spiritual reader for 30 years and would love to be able to bring accurate, clear, visionary readings for those who seek answers. Available online and phone. Call 320-455-2303 or email readingsbysuzanne@gmail.com. Suzanne Marie. Check her event page for specials.
Hello everyone and welcome to another week of Soulfully Guided. I am your host, Carmel Ann. So what we're doing is a 5-part series on substance abuse and drug addiction. So if you haven't been watching and want to watch, this is not something we will commonly do on the show, but we wanted to bring awareness to addiction from both sides, whether you use